that went into it that I think was just smart by Will Wade. I'm going to, one of my things for an owner, right? Like a David Tepper, right? When you buy a new team, I always say find 3 to 5, hopefully, universally approved things, right? Just start with when it's in the fans' eyes, start 5-0, right? I always say do something to honor the legends previous, right? Throwback jerseys, everybody always likes. Get better Wi-Fi in the stadium, right? Just do things that these fans are 100% universally. That's pretty good. He's up 1-0. That's pretty good. He's up 2-0. That's what last night was about for Will Wade. That's what last night was about for Will Wade. Just get ahead 5-0 on the cards. Now, if you go lose a game you shouldn't during the non-conference schedule, it's like, all right, that's fair. 5-1. Like you're already ahead, right? You have momentum for your program. All the way down to, Dennis, you were there. I don't know if you noticed this. A few people that were at the game said layup lines were essentially a dunk contest.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Universally approved by fans.
Yeah.
Right? No, we're not working on our short elbow jumpers. Windmills. Like, it's just a universally approved crowd pleaser.
You mentioned about Will Wade. One of the things that I noticed right when he was walking out, when the team came out, like you said, for layup lines and all that kind of stuff, Will Wade comes walking out, crowd gives him the cheer, getting that pop from the crowd. He's looking around the crowd, pumping his fists, hands up in the air, like getting the crowd amped up. I was like, oh, man, this guy knows exactly what he is doing. Knows exactly what he's doing and working to the crowd. And you know what? It makes perfect sense, and I don't blame him one bit for it.
The UNC game, I actually think a little bit different, right? With Hubert, it's not a first impression, right? Hubert Davis, everybody knows Hubert Davis very well in many cases. I think that game was about UNC embracing the current era. They were grandfathered in to almost pre-NIL, pre-transfer portal, right? The Baycott Davis running ticket, whatever you want to call it. R.J. Davis and Armando Baycott, they were from a previous era, it felt, right? They were the 4 or 5 year player at one school. They were, you saw them develop, and that doesn't happen much in college basketball anymore. UNC looked like Seth Trimble and the new guys. Like if they were a 50s doo-wop group, it would be like Seth Trimble and the newbies. Everybody was new, but to me, that's also something worth displaying in your first game. Like, yeah, we've watched, we saw what we needed to go get, we went and got them. A double-double from Vesar, to me, matters. 7-footer got 10 rebounds. How's that sound, everybody? Pretty good, right? Kyan Evans, above 50% from 3. You went and got a shooter, and he knocked down shots. How does that sound? It was all about debuting the new guys. It was like a debutante's ball. I don't actually know if that's what that is. And then, obviously, Duke plays Texas tonight. That is a different beast. It's in Charlotte. Sean Miller will be making his debut for Texas after taking the Texas job from Xavier. So, there's going to be a lot of new in that one, a lot of lessons learned. And we'll talk about those lessons as the show goes on. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Canes, Rangers, tonight in the Big Apple. It's a big game. It's a big game. It's a rivalry game, right? You don't like the Rangers. The Rangers don't like you. I think it becomes more interesting for the Cane side of things, when you take almost that away, which you can't, right? There's going to be all of the history, the blood, all that kind of stuff, but bad blood, whatever you want to call it. Pyotr Kochetkov in net? That's an interesting decision from my perspective. So that's just not a on-ramp for a guy that hasn't played at all. It's, you know what, we're putting you on the road against the Rangers. Good luck, right? And I kind of like it. It strikes me as the Canes are trying to be, and they're changing up the lines also. We've talked about that yesterday. We're going to talk about it today. But the quote-unquote top line of Aho, Jarvis, and Ehlers is completely spread out based on what they did at practice yesterday. Aho obviously stays on the first line. Ehlers dropped down with Stankoven and Blake on the second line. Jarvis joined Stahl and Martinuk on the Stahl line / third line, depending on how you look at it. So they're to me, what it looks like is they're not going off the rails, right? They're not going crazy. They're not doing anything outlandish. But there is a bit of, we need to change something up, right? Let's put Piotr in net. Let's change up the lines. Let's see if that works. It's a bit of the Tin Cup thing, right? If you've watched Tin Cup, the movie. Take all the change out of your right pocket, put it in your left pocket, put a T behind your ear. All right, now do the exact same swing you were trying to do before. And you snapped yourself out of whatever funk you were in. Strikes me as a little bit of that. A little bit of, let's see if we just put them on, skate them with different people. If all of a sudden those shots that have been good shots but have hit the post or missed just wide, go 4 inches to the right and into the net. Like, let's just see if having someone else on the ice changes that a little bit.
Coach Chekhov had a good rehab start or conditioning start down in Chicago for a game. It felt like, all right, he's ready to go.
And I was just talking with Adam Gold during the switch over here. He brought up that Coach Chekhov has a good history against the Rangers.
He does.
And he's going to look up more stats on this. So and I told him, he promised if he gets them done before the end of the show, he'll text them to us. Piotr has a good history against Russian goalies. A little bit of that.
He does, actually.
And my response immediately when Adam told me that was, well, we know that Piotr doesn't quiet the mind like a lot of goalies do, right? He kind of revs it up. He's at times, I think, an enforcer in a goalie's skill set. So maybe that little personal rivalry, whatever you want to call it, will get him going. So there's a lot going on to that game. And you just want to win, right? Every win, it's survival mode with all these injuries. Every win matters a bunch. Again, first goal scorer, 433. If you think the new lines will spark someone in particular.
Coach Chekhov against the Rangers in his career, 4-2, 924 save percentage, goals against 218.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Hopefully he keeps it up. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The NFL trade deadline is in 50 minutes, 50, not 15, 50 minutes. This has been a real trade deadline, first of all. This has been a kind of electric trade deadline. Sauce Gardner, some think one of if not the best corner in the NFL, traded to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell, the young wide receiver. There's a few things you could look at this, right? Wow, that's crazy. That's a big deal.
That's a lot.
It's a lot to give up. It's a premier player. The Jets are obviously fully restarting. I would say this. Well, and also Sauce Gardner is the player who has the current highest per year deal of a defensive back in NFL history. When J.C. Horn signed his deal for the Panthers this offseason, he was the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. And in between those, Derek Stingley Jr. from Houston did leapfrog. So now J.C. Horn is third. But, the Panthers still want J.C. Horn, so obviously there's something going on. It worked out maybe a little bit better. For Duke fans out there, the Colts are all in on Danny Dimes. He is going to get paid. He is going to get a gigantic amount of money. When you're giving up first-round picks willy-nilly, just throwing 2 of them to another team, A, you're betting that your team's going to be good. Panthers learned what happens when you give up future first and you're not. That's not fun. So you're betting that your team's going to be good. And B, you aren't thinking you're going to need first-round picks and trade capital to go get a quarterback or draft a quarterback. Danny Dimes, he's in the plans long-term for the Indianapolis Colts. They might be talking extension like right now. That is very good for Danny and his agent's pocketbooks.
So like you said, Sauce Gardner traded from the Jets. Also, Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL, got traded from the Jets to the Dallas Cowboys as well.
That is a second-rounder this year, a first-rounder the next year, and it'll be the best of whichever first-rounder, because the Cowboys have 2. They have the Packers and the Cowboys. Whichever one is the better in 2027 will go to the Jets. And also Mozzie Smith, a defensive tackle, hasn't lived up to first-round draft pick status, but he's going back to the Jets in that deal as well. That happened. There are a bunch of the smaller deals. Rashid Shaheed going from the Saints, who are scheduled to play the Panthers this weekend. They're not just scheduled to. They will play the Panthers this weekend. He was traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are officially the quarterbacks of teams that are all-out buyers at the deadline. Their teams think they can win a Super Bowl because their quarterbacks are playing well enough.
And Jacoby Myers, former NC State wide receiver, traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Correct. That felt two months ago, but it was actually like 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
You're right. And that, I think, is more of he had requested during the preseason that he wanted out. I don't think the Jags are like, we can win it all, but they do have a hurt Travis Hunter and potentially a hurt Brian Thomas Jr., a little ankle injury, not as serious. But Jacoby might step into a pretty big role.
Real quick, I know we got to get to break, but from @WaitingRose on the YouTube live chat, do you think the Panthers will make a trade before the end of the deadline?
Nothing of significance. If they ship off a depth player for a 6th, 7th swap or vice versa, maybe. But I don't anticipate anything. I'd be actually surprised if we get a big alert. But we'll see. I do know that Jordan Schultz, who's an NFL insider, is doing a lot of reporting that Breece Hall wants out of the Jets, and maybe there's a deal that can be done. Sometimes what happens is somebody goes hard after a running back, and when it falls through, they get desperate for another running back. Could they pivot and ask for a Chuba Hubbard or a Rico Dowdle? Maybe, but I would be very, very surprised if either of those guys are moved. But, I don't want to say never because it's a trade deadline, and high-pressure situations sometimes go in ways you don't expect. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the big three. At 3, college basketball last night was it wasn't competitive down the stretch, but it was electric nonetheless. What did we learn, and what will we learn about Duke tonight? Stick around.
Welcome home. Your home's not just where you live, it's where life happens. At Baker Home Exteriors, we're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same craftsmanship to your doorstep. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've said it many times before. You've probably heard me say it. My journey with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, it's been a good one so far. In 3 months, or just over 3 months, I've lost 42 pounds. Thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I'm on my way to 50. That's the goal. I'm trying to hit 50 pounds lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And in my experience of the 3 months with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I know I can hit it because they have a plan for me to follow. And they have a plan for not only for me to lose the weight, but keep the weight off. It's all about resetting and restarting your metabolism. No shots, no injections, no HGH, no steroids, no side effects. Just your body doing the natural thing. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call to get your questions answered. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to KeepMyNetworks.com to get ESPN back.
What does it mean to win this award to you?
It means a lot to me, just being recognized for all my hard work on and off the court.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
So 19-8 as Bogovats gets the steal. He'll kick it ahead to Trimble on the catch and finish. Set way up in the air for the throwdown.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So shout out to ESPN and YouTube TV for making this a very confusing show to prep for. Couldn't watch some of it, so I had to go find some of it on YouTube. So my notes are a little scatterbrained because you can't get ABC properties, Disney properties on YouTube TV right now. With that, yeah. And you know what? I'm blaming both of them. I know some people want to blame YouTube TV. Call them, let them know. Some people want to blame ESPN. They're being great. The both of yous. I'm tired of the both of yous. I don't know. There's all I do is watch sports, so when I don't even know what to do with my hands. When I'm just sitting there on the couch, going, the remote doesn't get me to sports. What do I do here? Either way, I did eventually get a chance to watch these games, and I have the notes here for me. The biggest note I have for UNC Central Arkansas, 94-54. UNC win. Luka Bogovac played. We weren't sure if he was going to be cleared by the school. He didn't play in exhibition games because UNC didn't have him eligible. The NCAA did, but Luka was not cleared by the school. He did play in the game, and that's the biggest piece of news there is. Because he is a contributor. He did come off the bench, but he gave him 20 minutes, scored 10 points. Little rusty from 3, 1 of 5, but he played and he looked good. You heard his name there being in the mix of one of the highlights. He's a good player. There's a reason why he was worth all of the trouble. Hubert Davis explained what Bogovac brings to the team.
I mean, we just found out right before the game, and just to see the smile and the reaction from Luka was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. He's somebody, obviously, coming from Montenegro that has always, since the first time that I talked to him, had a burning desire to be a part of this team, this program, this university, and this community. And to be able to see him run out of that tunnel with the uniform on and be able to check him in and see that smile is something, again, that I will remember for the rest of my life. His mom is here. She's been over here for a week. She'll be over here for 2 more weeks. So to be able to see her son out there on the floor, can't wait. I haven't talked to him after the game, but I'm just really happy for him.
I think he's going to be a pretty prime player for him.
Yeah, 6'6", 6'7" wing that can handle the ball too. Yeah.
And shoot. Shoot, which is good because they've got a lot of guys that can get to the bucket, including Caleb Wilson. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I've been singing his praises the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it's been. I haven't felt like he's been getting enough love. 5-star freshman, 3 of the first 4 buckets for UNC. Just baskets scored. 3 of the first 4. Caleb Wilson dunks. Finished with 22 points. The full breakdown of his play is it's impressive. He looks the part, right? He does well. How's that taste? By the way, side note, do you know what would weirdly annoy me if I were Michael Jordan? Which I'm not, and probably not much that annoys him. So Caleb Wilson scored 22 points, 8 of 10 field goals, dunked everything. He is just the 5th freshman in UNC history to score 20 or more points in their UNC debut. That's pretty cool, right? The other 4, Joe Forte, who people, if you forget, go look it up. Mm-hmm. Rashad McCants,
okay,
Tyler Hansbrough, and Cole Anthony. It's a good group, right?
Yeah.
I got a notification to my phone from ESPN that said, Caleb Wilson, I forget, actually I have it. I took a screenshot because I thought it was hilarious. It says, Caleb Wilson. All right, boom, here it is. It's from Metcalf, whoever that writer is. After Monday, Caleb Wilson has a claim that even Michael Jordan can't match. And it was that he scored 20 or more points in his debut as a freshman for UNC. If I'm Michael Jordan, I'm going, everyone that's ever played for UNC, other than 4 people, has not had that debut that Caleb Wilson just had. And why are you singling me out? Do you forget what happened at the end of my freshman year? I hit the shot that won the national championship. Oh, but yeah, go ahead and remind everybody that I didn't have 20 points in my debut. That would be a little frustrating for me. But either way, they won. Luka played. Luka Bogovac played, and Caleb Wilson was real. It was a good debut for UNC. On the other side of town, NC State. They also hosted a Central, not Central Arkansas, NC Central. NC State won 114-66, which is good. And I talked about it earlier. It felt more like an event. It felt more like a display of the Will Wade era than it was a game, although a game was played and it did count. How about Will Wade's technical? Will Wade, the coach of NC State, in his first game leading the Wolfpack, got a technical while leading 101-46 with 6 minutes left in the game. Think that was a message sent? Think that was him wanting to give a show to the crowd? How about it? Matter of fact, we have Will Wade himself talking about the technical foul.
We got to be who we are the whole time. You can't. If you relax, like, you got to understand, in these type games, it's tough too. You know, look, we talk about, we're all sitting in here because we had 27 assists on 37 made baskets. You got to understand, you're in that type game, and you have a guy who drives it in there and throws up some BS shot, and he's got two people open from three. That can screw your team up after the game. So, like, you have to play to the standard. You have to make sure everybody keeps doing what they're supposed to do. And, you know, the technical, as much as anything, was look, I'm still fighting. I'm still here. I'm still paying attention to everything. Like, that's how we have to be, because you can get way too loose in that, and it can create problems within your team when you're loose in those situations. And so we wanted to make sure we kept playing the right way. We played to our standards for 40 minutes. I thought we did it for about 36. We've got some work to do there.
Listen, that sounded rehearsed. That's all I'm going to say. It sounded like he was going into that game. I'll get a technical about 6 minutes left, and then I got the speech about being yourself all the way to the end. That'll be some good coaching there. Hopefully we're ahead by about 50. When I come in, I'm going to be giving everyone the high fives. When I talk to the crowd, I'm going to be giving them the juice. That was a spectacle.
He knew what he was doing.
That was the whole game. The whole event was a spectacle for NC State, and I think that's why you hired Will Wade. You wanted not just the basketball, you want the spectacle. You want to recruit. You know, I talk about recruiting being how many times can a player think about you when you're not calling, right? When a head coach or an assistant coach from a Division I major college program calls, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I like them. They seem like nice guys. But how often when they're not on the phone with you do you think about that school? I think a lot of recruiting is that, right? Once in college football back in the day, when Nick Saban showed up at your high school, when he landed a helicopter on the softball field and walked in and took you out of class to talk to you in the conference room, guess what? The next day Nick Saban wasn't there. And guess what your math teacher was asking you about? What did Nick Saban have to say? That was pretty cool. What did Nick Saban do? And then you're at the Dairy Freeze getting an ice cream, and the server's like, did Nick Saban really come get you out of class? And every time that happens, you're thinking about Nick Saban and that team in Alabama when he's not around. If you're a recruit for NC State, people are going to ask you about Will Wade. What's that guy like? Did you see he got the technical up 55? Is he really that crazy? Is he really that impassioned? That's going to happen whether he's calling you or not, and I think that's important for building a program. He's going to be a stark contrast to some other coaches in the triangle. And that's, I think, good for business for everybody involved. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and that includes Duke tonight, who plays Texas. I don't think you see Shire getting a technical up 55 with 6 minutes to go in the game, even if he's upset with something. It's just a little different vibe there. Not better or worse, just different. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Right? Different strokes for different folks. Not everybody's the same. My house, maybe my heating's running great, but my plumbing stinks. Your house, maybe your plumbing stinks, or your plumbing's working great, but your electricity keeps being faulty. And somebody else is sitting there going, oh, that's good for me. My air conditioner isn't working. Well, the good news is we can all call the same people. Manor Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, whatever you need. Maintenance, emergencies, routine fixes. Manor Service Company can do it all with highly trained technicians that service the entire triangle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is a necessity when you're talking plumbing in certain parts of your house, right? Maybe if the electricity goes out and you're asleep and it's not a hot night, you're good. But if the plumbing starts acting up, you got to make a call. Manor Service Company is that call. It's actually, we're talking about different coaches and they have kind of that same deal. It's like a coaching tree. It all goes back to the originator of the company, and he's still employed by the company to pass along all the knowledge he has, and that gets passed down to different trainers, gets passed down to the different trainers, gets passed down to the technicians. So everybody gets the same elite training at Manor Service Company. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at manorservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. The Dean's List is next. Stick around to see if anybody from last night's basketball earned their way onto the list. Stick around.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, we've served veterans and their families for over 90 years, and we continue to serve over 2 million veterans because their contributions inspire our service. And this Veterans Day, we want to tell you that when you're a member, you'll have access to exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools. Plus, we're partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Wake in a hurry. Fake handoff right and scampering left by himself. Untouched into the end zone, the quarterback.
Wake Forest football returns to a Legacy Stadium on Saturday, November 15th to battle it out with Big Four rival North Carolina. Limited tickets remain. Order yours today at godeeks.com/tickets. We'll see you at a Legacy Stadium on Saturday, November 15th as the Demon Deacons take on the Tar Heels. Go Deeks.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me. Like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Want to score points with your boss? Recruit RoofWorks to your building maintenance team to handle your commercial roofing needs. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We've helped hundreds of Triangle businesses with their commercial roof maintenance, repairs, and if necessary, total replacements. Our pros come to your site, assess your roofing needs, and then give you a range of options to fit your budget. And we'd love to work with you. For roof maintenance and repair, contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Right half court, here's Williams. He flicks the wrist. Three, top of the arc. Yes. 5-0 Pack, 60 seconds in.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. College basketball started last night. College football's been going on. There's always off-season news for every sport, so it should be a pretty busy Dean's List today. So let's go ahead and fire up the old school bell and get in session. There it is. Well, we do have some auto entries here. Matter of fact, one player in particular, just every time I refreshed my feed, kept getting more awards. C.J. Bailey, NC State quarterback. Obviously, a big one for NC State over the weekend. They beat number 8 in the country, Georgia Tech. Field stormed, whole thing, right? They did the whole shebang. C.J. Bailey is, for the week, he threw for 340, 2 touchdowns, or 3, ran for another, whatever it was. Big stat game for him. Also had a highlight. We didn't talk about it yesterday, and I should have. I talked about it on the Pack Therapy podcast that I co-host with Mike Lennon. He did the whole ball behind the back evade of a rusher. Kind of crazy. Found an open guy. Big play. He's the Davey O'Brien National QB of the Week. Davey O'Brien being the end of the year Quarterback of the Year award, so they give a Quarterback of the Week. He is the National Quarterback of the Week. He is also Walter Camp gives away the Walter Camp Award, right? And multiple awards. It's a long-standing college football awards group. C.J. Bailey, Walter Camp Offensive Player of the Week. Also, the Maxwell Award goes to the National Player of the Year at the end of the year. He is the Maxwell Award Player of the Week. So each one got more and more broad, right? Davey O'Brien, Quarterback of the Week. It's all right, you beat out all the other quarterbacks. Walter Camp, Offensive Player of the Week. All right, you beat up not just the quarterbacks, but the receivers, the O-line, right? The whole group. Then the Maxwell Award. That's just the Player of the Week. You beat out everybody. Every last one. So CJ Bailey for the awards ends up getting a few more accolades here on the Dean's List. One more auto entry. Duke Scott, the running back for NC State, ran for 196 yards, caught a few more to go over 200 total yards. He's the Freshman of the Week by the Sean Alexander Award, which Sean Alexander Award goes to the Freshman of the Year at the end of the year. So Duke Scott getting a national recognition as well, which is doubly impressive when you recognize he was a backup forced into bell cow duty because Hollywood Smothers couldn't play. And all he did was 200-plus total yards against the number 8 team in the country. Granted, one with a shaky rush defense. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
I don't.
Okay. Then I'll keep it rolling. I do want to correct one thing from yesterday.
Okay.
We talked about the edge rusher for UNC, who was one of the ACC Players of the Week.
Yes, and we could not get his name correct.
Yes. So I looked it up. Melkart Abu Jaude is how you pronounce that. Started at Delaware. I should have known it, but he transferred to UNC. And not only that, when I went to look up this pronunciation, because I felt like I butchered it and I didn't want to just leave that out there like all kinds of wrong. I learned a little fun fact about him. You know what that is? He leads the ACC in sacks. UNC edge rusher Melkart Abu Jaude has 7 sacks on the season. That is number 1 in the ACC. Half ahead of Vincent Anthony Jr. of Duke, who had 5 in the first 2 or 3 games. So he's slowed down a little bit. Abu Jaude has picked it up, and thus he is now leading the ACC in sacks. Keep in mind, Vincent Anthony Jr., I think he's a future pro. Reuben Bain Jr. for Miami might be a top 5 pick. TJ Parker for Clemson, probably a top half of the first round pick. These are all edge rushers. None of them lead the ACC in sacks. That falls on UNC Tar Heel Melkart Abu Jaude, which the reason I wanted to bring this up even further is you listen to some people talk about UNC. You don't think they lead the league in any stat that's not like turnovers or blown assignments or yelling at a coach. Like
fumbles inside the one.
Yeah, like you wouldn't think that they're doing anything well. The defense the last 3 games has played really well, and Abu Jaude now leads the ACC in sacks. So it's not what they were hoping for at the beginning of the year. It's not what they were dreaming of when they hired Bill Belichick, but it's not all bad. There's a couple morsels of goodness mixed in the bad stew. You know what I mean? More Dean's List. At the beginning of the year, I put triangle former quarterbacks because at the time, Russell Wilson was named the starter of the Giants, and I went, look at that. Every team from the triangle has a starter, right? Because Daniel Jones was named the starter of the Colts. Drake May obviously entrenched as the starter and quarterback of the future for the Patriots, and they had Russell Wilson with the Giants. And I know some people were like, the whole pack of Badgers, he doesn't claim us fully. Jacoby Brissett, former NC State quarterback on the Dean's List. He beat the Cowboys last night, slinging the rock. He took over for an injured Kyler Murray, 21-31 passing, 261 through the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions through the air. Also ran for 1. Got the old Jacoby Brissett tush push. In the last 3 weeks, 7 total touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's not turning the ball over. He's playing well. If you pair him with Drake May and Daniel Jones, right back to the whole triangle starters thing, and Jacoby Brissett finished his career with NC State, so I don't think there's any shades of gray on who's claiming who. But then I'll build off of it, right? There's some rumors that even if Kyler Murray is healthy this week, the Cardinals are going to stick with Jacoby Brissett. Because they're seeing Trey McBride, they're seeing Marvin Harrison Jr., they're seeing some guys that they've invested in heavily playing better with Jacoby Brissett. which would be very interesting for the future of quarterback movement in the NFL. So just keep your eyes on that one. I don't think the Cardinals were involved in any of the crazy trades today, but just keep your eyes on that one. One more. Just because we didn't get a chance to talk to him during our little basketball segment, talk about him during our basketball segment earlier. For NC State, I want to put Matt Abel on there. Their incoming or brand new freshman 5-star.
He was good last night. Real good.
State obviously spent some money on their team, right? They went and got a bunch of dudes. They brought some guys that followed Will Wade from McNeese State. Like, there's a lot that I think we knew. Like, we knew Darian Williams was going to be good, and he was. Don't get me wrong. Like, he is and was and looked the part good. The guys that came from McNeese State, it's like, all right, you know they're going to know the system. They're going to be leaders. They're going to be in the right place. Matt Abel was one of the few, let's see what this looks like. Came off the bench, and to me, his speed popped, his kind of natural ability popped off the screen. And obviously scored some points, tallied some assists, grabbed some rebounds, did all of that. You know, it's an overmatched opponent. I don't want to put too much into the raw statistics. But to me, even when, like, compared to the other state guys, right? So I'm comparing power conference to power conference. He moved at a different speed. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure we at least discuss that a bit here.
I know post-game, so I went to the game yesterday. So post-game, we were going into the press area. They brought in Abel, they brought in Williams, they brought in Kadir Copeland, did NC State to talk post-game. And you could tell with Matt Abel that there's this level of, like, maturity out there, in the sense of it felt like the moment wasn't too big, because I know for a lot of players, I'm sure you felt the same way. I know I felt this. My first ever college football game, first college lacrosse game, I was like, heart's racing. Oh, yeah. You're kind of your head spinning a little bit because you're actually finally in that moment. I have no doubt that he probably had some of those feelings, but he was focused and calmed. There's a level of maturity in that sense, and and talking to other people that covered North Carolina, you kind of got that same sense about Caleb Wilson as well. Mm-hmm. So, like, you're seeing that. It actually reminded me of what we saw last year with guys like Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg, in the sense of, again, that level of maturity out there on the floor.
I read a long, opinion piece today, and I don't even know where it was. So I apologize. I can't, shout out the author on the way the Dodgers handled nerves. Because Mookie Betts said ninth inning, game 7 was the most nervous he's ever been. And Mookie Betts has won multiple World Series, different teams. He's been the best players in the world. He's played in the international competitions. He's done everything. And he said it was the most nervous he's ever been. But he doesn't fight nerves. He tries to like almost lean into it, and he goes like, all right, if the nerves are coming, we got to get nasty, Mook. And he starts talking to himself, like, rather than saying relax, he's more like, let me match the energy that my nerves are bringing with something that I want to do, right? It's just a different way of thinking of it, right? Because everybody goes, relax, relax. And then if you can't relax, if you can't get your heart rate down, you're like, oh no, what do I do?
Yeah. And I'm panicking because I'm not relaxing?
Yeah, he's the exact opposite. He's like, all right, this is a big moment. We better get after it. Let's get nasty, Mook. And I thought that was an interesting way to handle nerves. It's nothing is the absence of nerves. It's how you deal with it, right? I'm sure Matt Abel was nervous. He somehow turned that into a pretty good performance and didn't show it. It's not the absence of. Even Mookie Betts gets nervous. Granted, that was Game 7 of the World Series, but still. Not the exact same as, Central at home, but still. All right, let's dismiss the Dean's List. I could have that conversation for hours. I think that's really, really interesting, sports psychology theory and behind how athletes perform. And if anybody could figure it out, I'm sure sports professional teams would give you all the money in the world to come teach their players how to not be nervous or handle it better. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the podium coming up next. Who is gold, silver, bronze, and off the podium? It'll be our last football only podium of the year. Stick around.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us, and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4340.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit. Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Snap at the Georgia Tech 31. Bailey, handoff. Scott sees Part, sprints 20. Duke Scott 10, touchdown! Deal sealer, Duke Scott. 31 yards down the near sideline. NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. State had to pay $50,000 for the field storming, as did SMU for storming after the Miami game. ACC fined them each $50,000.
I can't remember what the rule is on that. I think it's like the visiting team has to be cleared off the field or something along those lines. Can't remember what the rule that they put in for that was.
I don't have an answer there, but I do know $50,000 is a lot of money. Probably worth it. I think there's a lot of interesting conversations around field storming as well, and who you should do it against, and when you should act like you've been there before, and everything else. But nonetheless, big win, storm field, pay money. That's how it goes. That is the process of events, and it might just put you up high on the podium. We'll find out right here, right now. This is, as I mentioned before the break, the last football-only podium. Next week, it'll include men's basketball. So if you get a big win in men's basketball, you lose in football, we'll have to do our own math to figure out how that comes out in the wash. We'll start off the podium. Again, football only. It's the 4 teams in the state of North Carolina that play in the ACC. 1 is off the podium, then bronze, silver, and gold. It is a 1-week award. So this is just the last week of action. Wake Forest is off the podium. They lost 42-7 to Florida State. That was appropriate. The music just cut like a little record scratch. Listen, Florida State ain't what. Yeah, there it is. It shouldn't happen against Florida State. If this was the week after they beat Alabama, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? That's a really good team. But we've seen enough from Florida State since they beat Alabama that you shouldn't lose 42-7.
And we've seen Wake be competitive against teams of equal or better quality.
And they've squeaked out a few, and they've, gotten some breaks and also not gotten some breaks. But either way, this was the first time Wake Forest really looked like significantly outclassed on the field. And because of that, they're off the podium. What are they up to now in the year? Do they have 5 wins? 5-3? I mean, I still think bowl eligibility in their first season is solid.
Oh, absolutely.
First season under Jake Dickert. So there's room to grow, but off the podium for this week. Bronze. This was a tough week to name it.
It really was. Which
is a good problem to have. First class problems here in the Triangle. Everybody else won. Bronze goes to North Carolina. Beat Syracuse 27-10. Defense, if this were a defense-only award, they're probably gold.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yes. Yes, they would be.
Unfortunately, it is a full team award, and a 27-10. Like, if it were just UNC's importance, I think this was a really important win for them. But Syracuse isn't anything to write home about at this point in the season. Their coach, maybe this says what they think of UNC. Their coach shuffled up a whole bunch of coaches. The wide receivers coach now coaching quarterbacks. This coach now coaching this. The coordinator, the wide receivers coach isn't here anymore. I don't know what it is. They shuffled up like their whole offensive staff at Syracuse after this UNC game, including Peter Angeli or Steve Angeli, whatever their quarterback is that's hurt. Apparently, is close personal family friends with the quarterbacks coach, who's no longer the quarterbacks coach. And they asked Fran Brown, does that change his status at all? And Fran Brown said, he committed to play for me. I was like, you better hope. You better hope. He played really well before that injury. If he wants to leave, he might have some options. But either way, UNC gets the win. Big win. Great for their defense. Huge for their personal momentum. But Syracuse just isn't that big of a trophy fish. They get the bronze. Let's jump to silver. Duke. This one was tough, too. Every level got more difficult. They beat Clemson 46-45. It's a win that apparently impressed the world. Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong here. Nobody was talking about Duke last week. It seems like everybody is talking about them now.
Mm-hmm.
There's just casual, they're going to go 7-1 in the ACC. I'm going whoa. I'm high on Duke. If they put it together, they could easily be 7-1. But they got to put it together. We haven't seen the best version of Duke yet, and I don't think we saw the best version of Duke against Clemson.
We haven't seen a full, complete performance yet from Duke. There have been times where their defense has played well, and the offense has been good, but not great. There's offense and other times the offense obviously has played exceptional.
Yep.
Put up 46 points against Clemson, but he also gave up 45. So there's got to find that happy medium of both sides of the ball playing well.
If you could pick the best 4 quarters of the offense and the best 4 quarters of the defense, grab the this quarter against the Clemson game and this quarter for the defense of the whatever, go all the way back to the Illinois game or whatever.
First half against Illinois, I thought their defense actually played really well.
And you piece that together, that's a top 10 team in the country.
This is Matt Rule logic now.
But you can't do that. Yeah, you can't. So I'm not – everybody that's stumbling onto Duke now and going whoa, the ACC favorites. I'm going all right, we're high on them as well. Let's not take a 46-45 win over a bad Clemson team and act like that solidifies them as some kind of juggernaut. They still got to prove juggernaut status. It's possible, though. And then gold goes to NC State. They beat number 8 Georgia Tech at home, 48-36. Speaking of offense versus defense, offense scored 48 points against Georgia Tech, slung it around. Right, cut him up through the air, gashed him on the ground, a little bit of everything. I thought Kurt Roper, as a play caller, their offensive coordinator, was mixing it up very, very well. And I think C.J. Bailey was backing him up, right? When the play calls weren't perfect, he was finding a way to get completions. He was buying time. He was getting rid of the ball. What we have yet to say about C.J. Bailey since Saturday is he was kind of banged up, right? His ankle, his foot, whatever that was not right. Helped off to the locker room at halftime, but he's got some gamer in him. He found a way to make it happen, And then not only that, still celebrated after plays. Like, I don't know, maybe the adrenaline was kicking. That is, and this isn't coming from me. It's coming from Emery Hunt, who you may hear on the Ross Tucker podcast. He does quite a bit of quarterback analysis, kind of multiple different venues. Former defensive back. He said that C.J. Bailey looks like a number 1 overall pick type player. Number 1. I'm not there yet. I think he's a future pro. I think he's shown the potential to play his way into being a first-round pick. But if you were some kind of an alien and you showed up, learned the game of football, and the first week of football you've ever watched was this week, you might go like, that guy. He's the one I want to draft to my NFL team. He was that good this week. Consistency is the next thing. Doing it against it's hard to say you have to do it against elite competition when he just diced up the number 8 team in the country, but Georgia Tech's defense isn't that. He was really good. He was really good. And now to look to the defense, right? 36 points allowed, not great. There was, what we call it, the middle 8, the 4 minutes before half, the 4 minutes after half. Maybe it extended to like the middle 12. I don't have the exact time stamps in front of me. But there was a stretch of 4 or 5 drives where the NC State defense wasn't great, but they held them to field goal attempts rather than touchdowns. And that's the difference, right? That's the difference. Call them 4-point plays, right? The plays that turn a touchdown into a field goal save you 4 points. If you do that 3 or 4 times and you win by 12, that's the difference. That, right, like literally right there. The defense didn't have to hold them to 12 points. They had to hold them to below 40, and they made just enough plays to do that, which, isn't too much to write home about, but it's good enough to earn you a gold star. The gold medal. Maybe that was a Freudian slip because next we have to go to our gold star. Dennis, as I often do, turn it over to you. Who gets the gold star for the Group of 5 and lower division football in the state of North Carolina?
The gold star in this one, it's a recurring thing, actually. We've had this team on here multiple times. It's East Carolina football. ECU, the Pirates, get back with a gold star once again. They go on the road to Temple, actually at Lincoln Financial Field, by the way, and win 45-14 this past Saturday. Big time win on the road for East Carolina. By the way, pretty solid season so far for ECU. We actually look at it like it's a
my
pretty.
My old coach is the coach at Temple. It feels personal.
I'm just saying.
My old running back's the running backs coach at Temple. This feels personal.
Here's the thing as well with East Carolina. 5-3 overall record, so one away from being bowl eligible. But they're one of 6 teams in the American with 1 loss in conference. Navy has a loss. They're 5-1. Memphis and North Texas are 4-1 in conference. South Florida, Tulane, ECU, all 1 loss, all 3-1. So 6 teams with 1 loss in conference in the American. ECU's in the thick of it.
That's good. I mean, you win the American, you're legit. That is not a jokey Group of 5 conference.
And the top 5 conference champions make it to the college football playoff. And guess what? ECU, if you're the number 5 conference champion, because we know ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12 are all going to be in it. If the highest rated one after that's the American Athletic Conference champion, the American Conference champion, my apologies, that can be ECU potentially. I'm not trying to put the cart in front of the horse, but that is a realistic possibility with East Carolina. When you really think about it. Is it a long shot? Potentially. But it's still a realistic possibility.
If I'm not mistaken, last year during ECU's little turnaround at the end of the year, they caught Temple and railroaded them.
Mm-hmm.
So to do it again it's a good move. It's a good move.
And ECU upcoming, they actually have number 22 Memphis at home coming up in a couple weeks. This Saturday, they're home against Charlotte. Take care of business against the 49ers.
Get bowl eligible. That's 6.
Yeah. And then you have also UTSA on the road, and you have Florida Atlantic on the road. UTSA and Florida Atlantic both are only just 2-2 and 2-3 in the conference, respectively. So they beat Memphis at home. Driver's seat.
Sky's the limit.
Driver's seat. Just saying.
We'll see. Go make it happen. Caden Hauser. I don't know why I said it with disdain. He's a good quarterback. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Caden Hauser.
Yeah, Caden. Jeez.
No idea why I said it
Caden.
that way. Maybe some people are saying that about Bryce Young. Bryce Young, even though he got the win. Should they? Find out next.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. NBA action heating up, and you've got 3 ways to play. You can get a profit boost token. I love those. You can play it cool with a no-sweat bet, or get a little backup with a bet-back token. All you got to do, all the information is right there for you in the FanDuel app. So I like a little boost action. I like that. I like taking my plus money to even higher plus money values. That's the way I roll. I don't do anything that's minus. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. That's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold for FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice afternoon out there. Lots of sunshine. Highs in the upper 60s. It is going to be a chilly night tonight. We dip back into the mid to upper 30s. So some patchy frost is likely. Tomorrow is going to be another pretty day. We'll see breezy conditions gusting up to 30 miles per hour, but highs will be warm in the low 70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 251 points to 47,085.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive. The NFL trade deadline has officially passed. It was 4 o'clock Eastern. However, you always got to give the buffer, right? If an NFL team turned in a trade at like 3:59, maybe we don't hear about it from the insiders for another few minutes. But it appears as if the Panthers didn't make any deals. And let me be the first to say, good job, Panthers. Good job. I respect the patience. I respect the self-awareness. You resisted the temptation to say, we're above 500 at the deadline. Let's go spend. We're going for it, baby. First round postseason exit is worth all of our picks. Let's go for it. They resisted the urge, and I respect that. They had the self-awareness to say, we're good. We are a solid NFL team right now. We are not one player away from contending. We are not, hey, if we only had this or these few things, we could go challenge the top of the conference. But we're also not so bad that we need to think constantly about our draft capital and send away everything that's not strapped down. Good patience and self-restraint. Do you know why I think a good portion of the football analysts and also I would even say like front office people across the league don't think the Panthers are one player away? Bryce Young. If you had a simply more upper echelon, trustworthy quarterback, and I'm not saying this is about Bryce as a dude. I'm saying this about Bryce as a football player. By all accounts, seems like a great guy. Going to keep working, keep doing all the things right. From a football standpoint, I think it's shown that he's limited. And there weren't any legit quarterbacks available at the deadline. That's always a pipe dream. You wouldn't move somebody and expect them to come in and be the franchise quarterback anyway, unless you're Joe Flacco. Apparently he can just drop in anywhere and be super duper. Bryce Young is becoming a really interesting case. This past week, threw for 102 yards. No touchdowns. 1 interception. Won the football game. Which opens up the door for the Bryce Young fans to say the only stat that matters is winning the football game. And, yeah, I get it. And you have to say it. Yeah, winning's the only thing that matters. Sacrifice everything for a win. I'll cut off my pinky for a win. I don't need a left toe. I don't know. Like, it's just appendages being chopped off for wins because it's that important. And I get you. 102 passing yards. 102 passing yards shows that the team thinks the best way to win is to hide you. That's the people that support you. That's the people that are with you every day in practice. That's the people that call the plays. The best way to support you, the best way to win is to not ask you to do that much. And I don't know if that's how the game plan started. I know that's what the game plan was after the interception. It just became, can we put this dude in bubble wrap? I went and looked it up. The interception, which was a bad interception, by the way. I did. I haven't tweeted this out. Coaches tell me to wait to react until I look at it from multiple angles. So my gut reaction, not a good play, but let's wait. The wind was involved, but also it wasn't like throw a spiral, right? Throw a spiral, cuts through the wind.
Yeah.
Have a stronger arm, cut it through the wind. I watched that entire game. Very rarely did I say, oh, Jordan Love's pass got caught in the wind because he was throwing darts. And every single pass of Bryce Young was like, did that get moved? That was a hitch 5 yards in front of him. Did that thing move 2 feet to the left?
Yeah, Jordan Love drops in, hits a couple of passes downfield, at least put it on target. That were 50 yards downfield.
So that was a really bad play.
It was terrible.
After that play, he threw for 102 yards. Before the interception, he was 4 for 4 for 36 yards. He did have that fumble where it got hit and then scooped by Chuba Hubbard. Mm-hmm. If you want to count that as an incompletion or a bad pass play, 4 for 5 for 36 yards. After that play, 7 for 16 for 66 yards. That play happened about 2 minutes into the second quarter. So he had essentially 3 quarters left to go. He threw for 66 yards. 19 of them came on the final drive. The best play he had, and if you... I don't want to say the best play. He had one little scramble throw that was okay. But the most crucial play towards winning that he made was an improv activity before the play. And you can go look it up. People on Twitter are giving him a lot of love for this. He acted like he was calling out pass protections and telling Rico Dowdle who to block on a play on the final drive that they ended up driving for the game-winning field goal. And then he handed it off to Rico Dowdle. And then you go post-game, Micah Parsons is saying, yeah, I didn't expect him to run. I thought they were going to pass. It was a great play call. And everyone's like, well, that's because he gave him the old razzmatazz with the acting before the play. He thought that they were going to pass it because Rico, you're a quarterback in the NFL. I don't believe there is a position in sports that impacts winning and losing as much as quarterback in the NFL. Maybe starting pitcher, but that only happens once every 5 games. Quarterback's out there every single time. You are a quarterback in the NFL. And if at the end of the game we're saying the biggest play you made to impact winning was a Saturday Night Live sketch that you and your running back put on before the snap, it screams loudly, right? It's a negative space picture. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you look at what Bryce Young did, there's some good. But if you look at what he didn't do, I think that tells the story as much as anything. And it goes on and on and on for the wins that he's had in his career. Yeah, he made on almost all of them, right? He has 11 wins, 9 of them game-winning drives. Those drives are pretty awesome, but it's the things he didn't do in the first, second, third quarters, beginning of the fourth quarter that put him in that situation that tell as much of the story as anything. Now, I am a big proponent of don't make a decision before you have to. Okay? Don't decide if you're going left or right until you get to the fork in the road. Because guess what? You might pull up and one way might be closed for construction. And you're like, well, we spent all that time debating and debating and debating, and we didn't even have a decision to make. So don't – you can gather information and all of that. Prepare to make a decision. I'm just saying don't make it, stamp it, triple stamp official. Right? So if you're already saying like Bryce Young has to go or Bryce Young needs a contract extension or pick up his 5th-year option, I'm going, why are you making that decision now? You don't have to make it till this offseason. But gather information, right? Be prepared to have to make whatever decision you have to make. One of the hardest things to do, I would imagine, I've never been a GM, but I've watched the rise and fall of teams and multiple sports my entire life. The hardest thing to do, it seems, is to make changes with I would say middling, even playoff roster. If you're not in the barrel, if you're not in the bottom, if you're not in the dungeon, there's a desire, a urge to not make any big changes because you could get worse. When you're the worst team in the league and you're changing quarterbacks and you're changing coaches and you're changing, that's easy, right? Because it's so bad. How could it get worse? It's hard when you're like, you made the playoffs the last 2 years, but you got to make a big change. It's hard when, you're above 500, but you got to make a change. Look at what the Seattle Seahawks did. Seahawks were a playoff team last year. Geno Smith was one of the stories of the league, right? His reclamation project in Seattle. They moved on they made big changes. They brought in Sam Darnold. They changed up some things. And guess what? Gangbusters. Jackson Smith-Njigba was maybe the best receiver in the league this year. They're winning, and they're all in. They're making trades to get players. They got Rashid Shaheed earlier today. I'm not saying you have to make the decision to move on from Bryce now. But I'm saying prepare yourself for maybe having to make that decision. Nothing firm, right? There's still a bunch of games left here, and maybe he has a bunch of 300-yard passing games and wins, in which case I would go, thank goodness we didn't lock in our decision back in November 4th. But be prepared to make a decision where perhaps you are 9-8. Perhaps you are playing meaningful football into the last month of the season. You have that week 14 bye followed by 3 out of 4 games being in division. Maybe those games matter for playoffs. And however they go, you might still have to make a decision on your quarterback in the offseason. Be prepared for it. Are you winning games because of him? Or are there better options out there that might turn that 9-8 season into 11, 12 wins, whatever it ends up being?
How often are you going to sustain winning with your starting quarterback going 11 of 20 for 102 yards and a pick?
Or
how long can you be honest? How long can you sustain that?
The other option would be to tell Bryce, listen, we understand what we have to do around you to win. You want to take this $4 million a year contract? Because then we can go get the offensive line and running game and defense that is needed for us to win around you. Right? We're not going to find a Rico Dowdle for $3 million on the scrap heap who's ready to be the best running back in the league once he takes over every year. That's not sustainable. We might be able to get a Derrick Henry if we're willing to pay $15 million a year, but we need that to come out of your salary. And by the way, Bryce won't do that because he's a smart business guy, and I'm sure he has an agent that likes big houses. But my point is, these wins, where you're working very hard to hide the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of the quarterback, they don't prove to me that he is the dude moving forward. If you give him the opportunity to be the dude moving forward and he lives up to it, we can revisit and we will revisit. But I'm not watching that game at any point in time and thinking, outside of maybe the last drive, I'll give him that. He's weirdly calm on last drives. But there's not a whole lot out there I'm thinking like, thank goodness they have Bryce Young. And that probably says all you need to say for where he is right now. 102 passing yards. And I've been a quarterback that wins at the college level, FCS level, throwing for like 60 yards. It's a weird, not good, hollow feeling. You win, you're happy, you're high-fiving your teammates. Inside, you're like, I threw for nothing today, and I don't really know if I should be celebrating like everybody else. It's a weird feeling, I promise you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Dennis Cox here, real quick for my good friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, what if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to cop or drop. Coming up.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and the Rangers.
Blake with it, he scores! Oh, what hands! Jackson Blake, he's a magician, and it's 1-0 Carolina.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Snaps the shot, he scores! Sebastian Aho! And it's 2-0 Carolina.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
It's football season, and let's be honest, your living room doesn't have award-winning wings, a massive beer selection, and over 50 TVs. Carolina Ale House does. We were recently voted one of USA Today's 10 best sports bars, and we need you to help us celebrate. Come get in on this legendary game day experience. Bring your crew, bring your appetite, and get loud with us. Don't fumble your game day plans. Come watch the games at Carolina Ale House. Ale yeah.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Like this every week in the meeting room, I definitely think you're supposed to get 2 pumps. Hopefully I don't get a fine.
Rico, man, you got robbed. You only did 2 pumps. I'm sorry, man. Now we're going to have to write a new sketch.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I believe it is official now. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone, and the Panthers did not make a move. However, in a non-trade related move, they did release Hendon Hooker, a former third-round pick quarterback of the Lions. Had an injury right at the end of his college career. Doesn't seem like his pro career ever really got started. Bummer for him, but the show must go on for the Carolina Panthers. Let's get to Copper Drop. I mean, there was like a weird moment of silence for Hendon Hooker and his Panthers.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, cop or drop. Let's actually go right into the conversation we just had about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, Tim. Cop or drop, Bryce Young gets a contract extension this offseason. Cop or drop?
Are you counting fifth-year option as an extension?
No.
Then drop. I would need to see, conservatively, 3 times better play the second half of the year than the first half of the year from Bryce Young to consider an extension. And even that would probably come with a acknowledgement on his part that he will not be getting anywhere near market kind of top third money. Like, he's not getting over $40 million, even with a dramatic uptick in play. Part of the reason you pay. This is very kind of apt today because it looks like the Cowboys absolutely botched the Micah Parsons trade even worse based on the compensation they gave up for Quinnen Williams today. Part of the reason you pay for Micah Parsons is because there's not many people that can do what he can do. You pay for the scarcity of the ability. I don't see much that Bryce Young does that I don't think a bulk of the other starters in the NFL could do. And that's why you don't pay him big money. If he wants to stick around, it would have to be wildly conservative cash. So no, I don't think you give him the extension this offseason. Maybe you pick up the 5th-year option, although that's probably more expensive than I'm thinking it will be. Maybe you pick up the option just to keep control if you think it's an asset worth keeping, but I'm definitely not giving a long-term extension.
Let's see, real quick here. And 5th-year option for him would be approximately, again, fully guaranteed, $39.72 million for the 2027 season.
Yeah, probably not.
So, okay, I was actually about to ask, cop or drop, do they pick up his 5th-year option this offseason?
If there's anything, I think it might be, if I recall, the Packers did this with Jordan Love, where it's like, no, we want to keep giving you a shot, but we're definitely not picking up the 5th-year option. So they did like a no 5th-year option, but like a 2-year extension for less money with a team option for the next year. I forget exactly what it was, but
like a bridge deal in the
Yeah,
NHL.
yeah, it very much felt like that. But I mean, Jordan Love hadn't played yet, so he didn't have much leverage. And he probably wanted to, like, I've been working in this offense for 3 years. I want to see if I can play in it. Maybe something like that, but no, I'm not. And it's early to be making these decisions, but I wouldn't right now at all.
All right, next one here. Cop or drop? Carolina Panthers make the playoffs. Cop or drop?
I'm still dropping.
Okay.
The chances are significantly better now than they were a month ago, but it's still a long shot. The NFC, I don't know if people realize this. It's kind of a bummer for the Panthers. Like, the Panthers are finally a decent team, and the NFC decided to go be some kind of a juggernaut. I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that are 6-2-1 or better. Think about that. 1, 2, or 5-2-1 or better. 5 teams right now have 2 losses or less. And they're not teams that look like they're losing steam, right? Eagles, Bucks, Seahawks. Maybe the Packers are losing steam, but that's just because they lost to the Panthers.
And lost their best offensive player.
Tucker Kraft. Yes, correct. Rams. The Niners have 6 wins somehow with their injuries. The Lions aren't going anywhere. I just think the NFC is pretty tough right now. So it's still an uphill road, but significantly better than they were a couple of weeks ago. I also want to point out this. If you look at point differential, the Panthers are minus 35. They're still getting outscored by a good amount. And that would be, I believe, tied for third worst point differential in the NFC, ahead of only the Saints and Giants, which that's not the company you want to keep.
No, it's definitely not. Definitely not what you want to keep for sure. And you also got to factor in you have a 30-0 win over Atlanta in that too.
Yep.
You're still a minus 35 point differential on the season. All right, let's actually go to the ice because, again, Canes are in action tonight.
Yeah, they are. Hockey Night in Carolina. You can listen to it right here, 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app.
First goal score predictions in 9 minutes, folks. Cop or drop, the Carolina Hurricanes keep all 3 goalies on their roster for the rest of this season, that being Pyotr Kochetkov, Freddie Anderson, and Brandon Bussey, all stay on the roster through the rest of the season. Cop or drop.
You're going to make me do my least favorite thing in the world.
What's that?
They are keeping all 3 would be my official answer, so I'm copping. The potential reasoning is maybe there's stretches where guys are hurt.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
it's a valid point.
It's easier to keep 3 when one's on IR. You know what I mean? And if you look at the histories, at least of Pyotr Kochetkov and Freddie Anderson for sure, they miss time, right? They miss time. Brandon Bussey, who knows? He doesn't have any kind of history of NHL experience at all, so definitely not, what happens if he's asked to play a significant period of time in the NHL. The Canes have a bunch of first-class problems going on right now. You got 3 guys that, we don't know how Pyotr Kochetkov is playing, but we know the talent level. You got 3 guys that are pretty good, right? Or at least are playing pretty good right now, or you expect to play pretty good right now. 3 guys that if you were to put on waivers would be picked up when it comes to Brandon Bussey. I think they will roster 3 because they don't really have a choice. They're too valuable to make vulnerable, and they need to stick around. So yeah, I think they do.
So you're not factoring in a potential trade?
I'm not. I think trading away a goal, I'm not even superstitious. Trading away a potential a goalie feels like the number one way to ensure that you need a goalie.
Unless you're bringing a goalie back.
If you point out the goalie that's available, I'll love to see it. We've talked about this a bunch. Goalies don't grow on trees. Second line centers don't grow on trees. If you show me where one can be traded for, I think the Canes would be all over it. But they don't become available very often. So I'm not going to predict that it will happen. If it does, and they bring in back a dude in goal, I'll be stoked, and I'll be like, ha ha ha, I'm so glad I was wrong in cop or drop. But I'm not going to cop it for that reason.
All right, next one here. Cop or drop? Nikolai Ehlers gets his first goal of the night for the Canes. Cop or drop?
I've been predicting Ehlers for the first goal scorer prediction off and on the entire season. Does he get his first goal? Well, actually, I may be contradicting myself later. I'm gonna say he doesn't, and part of it is just I don't think there's a lot of goals tonight. I don't think there's a lot of goals on either side. I think this is a 3-1, 2-1, something like that kind of game, and we've learned with the Canes, if it comes down to one goal at the end, there's a good chance that if the Canes are scoring it, it's Aho, it's Jarvis, there are certain guys that feel very comfortable in those clutch moments. So, Ehlers hasn't proven that yet. I do have some questions, and we're going to talk about the Canes here in what at 4:45.
Yeah,
I have some questions that I'm going to pose to you, Dennis, that I think I have answers to, but I'm not 100% sure. And they do involve, obviously, as most questions will, the the best players on the Canes. Like, they do involve guys that have been on the top line and what this line shakeup is doing and everything. So I'm gonna drop Ehlers scoring his first tonight, but there might be more to come on that front.
All right, let's go.
By the way, first goal score predictions are in 5 minutes, so start getting them ready. Have your phone out and ready to dial.
All right, also, let's go to the hardwood. Let's go to college basketball. We saw UNC, NC State both get wins last night. Duke is in action tonight. In men's basketball, Copper Drop. All 3 Triangle men's basketball programs make the NCAA tournament. Copper Drop.
Copping. I think there were obvious flaws on 2 of the 3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't fix them with a hammer. They fixed them with a wrecking ball. Like they went in and renovated houses to make sure that they were fixed up this year. I think NC State at times over the past few years was trying to get by with craft and guile and different and trying to throw. They were trying to be like a knuckleballer, right? All right, we can't throw 99-mile-an-hour heat. Let's see if we can't confuse them with the knuckle. This year, I think they can throw 102, right? They can top the gun, right? The radar gun. So they fixed it, and Will Wade had a big part of that. Their budget had a big part of that. And UNC, I think they lacked size last year, and now they have a 7-footer, a 6'11", a 6'10". Like they went and got a bunch of dudes while preserving the shooting and versatility. And I think they also, it's just fresh, a bunch of new faces for UNC, and I think that's good. And Duke is what Duke is, right? They're cranking out first-round picks. They top recruiting class. They are what they are.
Yeah, UNC this year, they got Vasar, 7-footer, Stevenson, 6'11", Caleb Wilson's, 6'9", Bogovac is 6'6", 6'7".
I think Wilson is listed at 6'10".
Yeah.
So they
So 6'8.5".
All right, so take away an inch and a half from all of them. But they could legit play, depending on who's point guard, they could go 7 foot, 6'11", 6'10", and not be crowded under the bucket.
Yeah.
Like that's a big difference from last year, where at times Van Allen Lubin, who's ironically now on NC State, was the tallest guy on the floor at, I think, listed at 6'9", probably 6'8". And that's a big difference. And they didn't lose any of the versatility. I think they're all tournament teams. You could be looking at like 3 of the top 4 or 5 ACC teams.
Very well could be.
Depending on how you feel about teams like Virginia and a few others. Louisville, I think most expect to be up there, but there's opportunity there.
All right, let's go to another one here. Cop or drop. The ACC first team all-conference at the end of this season. First team all-conference from the ACC will have a player from both State, Duke, and Carolina on it at the end of the season. Cop or drop. Men's basketball. First team all-ACC.
Yep. Yeah, I'm copping. And obviously I'll open it up to like, hey, if this goes different and somebody else surprises me, I'll still take the win. Mm-hmm. But Darian Williams might be the safest bet. Preseason ACC Player of the Year. He's just proven, right? He's done it at the power conference level already. He's good. Cam Boozer, if the exhibition sessions are anything like what he puts on the floor, he'll be a walking 20-10. And I'm as high on Caleb Wilson, as not the quarterback for the Bears. Caleb Wilson for UNC. I'm as high as anybody on that player. So again, if it ends up being Vasar instead of Wilson, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh darn, I was wrong. I'm going to take that credit. But if it's Wilson, Boozer, meaning Cameron, and Williams, I think that's pretty likely, barring injuries and things. Should we fire it up? Is it that time, or do you want one more?
Actually, I want to do one quick one here.
One
quick one. This actually will tie into first goal score prediction. Let's actually go back to the ice. Copper drop. Alexander Nikishin scores 12 goals this season. 12 or more. Copper drop.
12. What is he at now?
2.
And we have, like 70 games to go?
Yeah.
Roughly?
71 including tonight.
12 is the over-under?
Mm-hmm.
13 it needs to hit. Is it 12 and a half?
12 or more.
Okay, so it's 11 and a half. Yeah, I'm copping.
Okay.
I think he's going to, as the season goes along, have more of a power play presence. And I think that's where some of the goals can exist. And, I mean, the guy his offensive skill set is impressive. I think he's going to get more comfortable. Eventually, he's going to have a defensive pairing that he can get comfortable with, I hope. And from there, sky's the limit. I think he'll have 12. I think he might have 15. I'm kidding. I think he might have 47. No, I'm kidding. Give him the Norris. I'm not doing that yet.
If he scores 47, give him the Norris and the Hart and the Calder for Rookie of the Year. Give them all to him.
I don't think it's quite there yet, but he's a very good player. I think he'll get 12. That's it for Copper Drop. Let's get to first goal scorer predictions. Who scores the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight in Madison Square Garden against the New York Rangers? Obviously, Shesterkin, the victim. If you want to call in, we want to hear from you. Who scores the first goal and in what period do they score it? Heister Automotive Group hotline is now open. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in with two pieces of information. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period do they score it? While Dennis lines up the callers and gets them in their right spot, I'll give you the 99.9 The Fan personalities picks that have already been locked in. Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings 9 to 10. He rolled with Andrei Svechnikov, who's been playing a little bit better recently on the power play in the first period. Max Gorin, who produces Next Up. Jackson Blake, that is, first period assist from Ehlers. Adam Gold, one of the more unhinged first goal score predictions we've received. And I appreciate when the details come in fast and furious. He went with Martinook in the third, shorthanded, while somebody is in the box serving the penalty for Pyotr Kochetkov, who is making his debut in net.
You know what the crazy thing is? I could see that. And that's what makes it. That's like ties it at 1. The Canes win 3-1.
And
see that.
On that same shorthanded stint, Pyotr Kochetkov standing on his head, right? He makes like 13 saves while Martinook is scoring shorthanded. It's got to be something just absolutely ridiculous. And the last one that has already been locked in, Victoria, who produces the Adam Gold Show here on 99.9 The Fan, went with Sebastian Aho in the first. However, she's been heavy on Aho and Jarvis, but it's always been an assist from the other on her predictions this year. Taylor Hall steps in for the assist, being up on that top line with Sebastian Aho. So she went with Aho in the first. Ready for this? With the Hall pass. See what happened there? You all heard it. You all heard it. Now let's get to the callers. Brian in Spivey's Corner is first up. Who scores the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes and in what period?
Let me get Svechnikov in the first, and I'll even give you sharp angle.
Okay, that is a solid detail. I like unusual details as well. Sharp angle from Svech in the first. Brian, you are locked in. Thank you for calling in, and good luck. We have another Brian here, actually. We go from Brian to Brian in Holly Springs. Brian in Holly Springs, who scores the first goal and in what period?
Okay, I want to stay with the hot hand, so give me Jarvis in the first, assist from Aho.
Okay. Is it a power play?
No, it is not a power play.
All right. Appreciate it. Locked in, Brian. Assist from Aho. So he's expecting some line shifting happening very early in this one.
Yeah, it could be in the middle of a change.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Jarvis, jumps on. Boom.
They do have chemistry.
They do.
We've seen it before. That brings us to Isaiah in Wake Forest. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Make your prediction. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
Hey, I'm going to take Svech in the first period. This might be optimistic, but I just like the way he plays, and I'm hoping he can pull it off and score in the first period. I'll take it off the power play because we've not had much luck on those. So,
when you say off the power play, you're saying power play goal or off, so not on the power play?
On the power play, my bad.
You're good. I just wanted to clarify. You have Svech in the first on a power play. Locked in, Isaiah. Thank you very much for calling in, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, I earlier today I put out the request for first goal score predictions on Twitter, and as always, you all came through. We have from Corey, Nikishin checks someone into the second row. Blake picks up the loose puck, delivers to Stank, and he rips it off the pipe and into the net.
So Stankoven first?
Stankoven in the first.
Okay.
But that is a lot of details there. Rusty goes with Ehlers in the first. then another in the third.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Hey,
Rains
rains of pores, baby.
Exactly. Once the lid gets taken off. Francis on Twitter says, Ehlers with a bomb from the point. Puck gets momentarily lost in the goalie's equipment. Goalie stands up, puck falls out, and bounces over the line. Book it. I can't say, like, I want as many details as possible and then go, like, that one's pretty ridiculous. So I like it, Francis. I'll tell you this. A lot of Ehlers. Ehlers from Blake and Stank. Ehlers, first period. Ehlers in the first. Won't be pretty, but it'll do the job. Nikishin first 10 minutes. That comes from JW. Jarvis back on the dad's line. First shift for the three of them. Dennis, I haven't received your first goal scorer prediction yet. Have you been thinking about it? Have you been ruminating? What do you have for us?
I have been. By the way, on our YouTube live chat, seeing a lot of Ehlers as well.
Yep.
Also including a Logan Stankoven. Puck loose in the crease. Just cleans up after a point shot from Chatfield. So Stankoven in the crease. Nikishin, we see a first goal as well. I'm actually going to go with something a little bit off the beaten path. The old Mark Jankowski in the first. Mark Jankowski. Actually, I take that back. Mark Gretzky in the first period. Actually, it's a Bradley Nadeau shot that Igor Shesterkin fights it off his shoulder, doesn't realize it's loose there in the blue paint, and Jankowski's there to clean it up. Give me Mark Jankowski.
All right. Do you know who is not expecting that? Our guy Micah, who is he thinks Jankowski might be cooled down a little bit from last year, where he was pretty good for the Kings.
Just getting heated up, man.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't even have Jankowski on the team yet last year.
Exactly.
He doesn't get started until right around the trade deadline. That's when things get going for Mark Jankowski. My pick, Nikolai Ehlers in the first.
Yeah, there it is.
But guess what? The lineup shifting works to a T. Turns out Nikolai Ehlers, Jackson Blake, and Logan Stankoven, they're like triplets. They see the ice the same way, so it is a beautiful pass from Blake to Stankoven. Stankoven sets up Ehlers for the nice and easy one. Just a little tap in. Shesterkin lost because they're so unbelievably on the same page. That's how it goes, right? That's always how it happens in my mind. Ehlers in the first opens up the scoring, and then it's floodgates for Ehlers. He goes on like a 4-game goal streak. That's what I'm looking for. If you do get any other predictions in to my Twitter at Donnelly Sports, where I ask for the responses. If you get it right, I'll give you your love. If obviously any of the callers get it right, we'll give you on air credit. We are big on accountability, right? If you get it right, boast. Take your victory lap if you want it.
By the way, there are some couple really, really bold predictions. Harrison Brown says, hey, you know what? Maybe Jarvis does a triple gainer, then goes top cheddar. And then Harrison also says, Aho has an argument with the security on the way in the arena and then scores in the first 5 minutes of the first period.
Somebody should insult Aho in pregame warm-up.
They should, actually.
If I were his teammate, I would, for the good of the team, disrespect Aho just to get angry Aho out there. Because when he's angry, he plays great. He's the guy with the goggles from Dodgeball. Get angry out there. Like, he's great anyway, but he's a little extra edgy great when he's little teed off. That's what I'm looking for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will talk more about that game in a second, but first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know a lot of people have been listening to me talk about Raleigh Weight Loss Center for the last 3 months or so, and I will say that the program, it's working. It really has been working. I've lost 42 pounds thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center in the last 3 months. 42 pounds. That's a real thing. I am actually getting to the point now where I'm thinking, do I have to buy new clothes? A lot of my stuff just actually was too tight 3 months ago. Then it was like, oh, this is actually fitting quite well. Now it's to the point where this is actually fitting really loose. I mean, honestly, it's a good problem to have. I'd much rather be dealing with, having to buy new clothes because I've gotten smaller and I've lost the weight. And I know the fact that in the future, as this continues on in Raleigh Weight Loss Center, that I am going to gradually lose some more weight because the goal at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is to lose weight at a healthy rate. So many of these diets that you see nowadays, these fad diets, it's you lose weight rapidly, and then all of a sudden you're putting weight back on, and then you're trying to lose weight rapidly again, then you're putting it back on. Raleigh Weight Loss Center is steady, healthy progression with your weight loss and then maintaining it as well. There are no shots, there are no injections, just your body doing the natural thing. And if you have questions about the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, just give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute consultation, a free 15-minute phone call to get all your questions answered. If you have any health concerns, ask the questions, talk to them. It's a free 15-minute phone call. Again, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you're not sure if it can work, I'm living, breathing, walking proof that it can work. 42 pounds in 3 months. That's just real numbers. 42 pounds in 3 months. Give them a call, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, Canes, Rangers tonight, hockey night in Carolina. Canes may look a little different. Is that a good thing? Next.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC. The biggest matchups will be found here.
Scott sprints 20. Duke Scott 10. Touchdown. Deal Sealer Duke Scott. NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, let's paint the scenario here. I need windows, but man, I don't have 3 hours to go through the process of deciding what I need, when I need it. Can you help at the Aluminum Company?
Absolutely. So, first of all, when we come out to your house to look at your windows, typical window appointment may last 45 minutes, an hour. We're certainly not going to make a 4 or 5 hour commitment to talk about windows. We're there to help.
Serve dinner last time.
Right. Listen, my wife always says, I talk to my wife all the time when we have salespeople, whatever we're doing. And my wife, I tell her all the time, I can't stand salespeople. And she laughs. She's like, you are a salesperson. I'm like, well, the difference is I'm just having a conversation trying to help people get what they want. I'm not there to pressure you. You're just there to help you get in and out. And it's a pretty quick appointment. It's pretty efficient. So we're there to help you and make it quick.
I can vouch for that. The Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online at aluminumcompany.com.
Dorothea shuttles a shot. And a save made by Anderson. Still loose in the blue paint. Carolina getting a stick to it. Anderson recovers. It comes back to Hutton. And this will stay in. Good play by Hutton.
I think Nikishin saved a goal, Mike.
Desperation by Carolina. Another chance. Anderson on Dorothea will make a huge save to keep this tied at 2.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes, Rangers tonight. Dennis, are you finally happy? 7 o'clock puck drop?
Yes, which, by the way, it's a radio only because it's a nationally televised broadcast, so it's a radio only. So if you want to hear Mike and Tripp, you can only listen to it through the Fan or the Fan app.
There you go.
Download it. 5-star
review. Rate. Give us the love on the reviews.
But yes, I'm excited about a normal normal puck drop.
The first of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive 7 p.m. puck drops for the Carolina Hurricanes.
We haven't had a normal 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop since the second game of the season.
So the time will be normal. The lines will not be normal. Here's the question I have. The lines, they're shuffled up, right? Top line is expected to be Aho with Svech and Hull, which is unusual, not what we've been used to seeing. Second line, Stankoven centering Blake makes sense with Nikolai Ehlers, not what we're used to seeing. Stahl line, a.k.a. third line, Stahl and Martinuk with Jarvis, also known as Jarvis and his two dads from a few years ago. Then the fourth line is, I don't want to say the rest, but it's likely Kotkaniemi, Jankowski, and Nadeau. Most of the blue liners will be the same as what we've seen recently. It's not the normal group, but it's been normal past 2 or 3 games. Here's my question. This is what I want to figure out, right? And by the way, Pyotr Kochetkov in net, that's just a different piece of information. He's back. He's active, and he will likely be starting in goal. The first question, I'm gonna try to keep this as broad as possible for you, Dennis. Why change the lines? Right? It's broad, and I think I have a place I'm gonna go with this, but answer why.
I know Ryan Hankel of the Hockey News made a great point on this. So I want to make sure I give credit where it's due when I first saw this. Is that you get look at some of your top guys haven't been scoring at 5-on-5 a lot lately.
Correct. Which, beautiful.
Yeah.
That is, shout out to Ryan. Shout out to you for relaying it. That's the answer I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So now, who are the lines supposed to get going? Right? You're making these changes trying to spark goal scorers. Are you just saying blanket the 3 from the top line, Aho, Jarvis, Ehlers, who obviously are now on their own lines? Is it to get Svech next to Aho again? Like what players are these changes designed to spark?
I think Ehlers is probably the number one.
Okay, beautiful.
Because he has yet to score a goal this season.
Yep.
And I think the next one actually is Aho.
Okay.
But again, Jarvis only has 2 5-on-5 goals this season. He's got shorthanded goals. He has overtime goals. He has a power play goal. So to me, it's actually your big 3. Separating them is actually probably the best thing for them.
Love that answer. And there, like, if you wanted to say Jarvis, if you wanted to say whoever, I would have been fine with it, right?
Yeah.
There are different answers. But my question that I've been kind of diving into, and this is what's been rattling around my brain all day, is, all right, let's say the 3 you want to jumpstart in order are Ehlers, Aho, Jarvis. That's what you say, and I'm fine with that. What do Stankoven and Blake do for Ehlers that Aho and Jarvis didn't? Like, what do we want to see them do that will allow Ehlers to see the ice differently, play differently, find the back of the net with more consistency?
Stankoven and Blake are more shoot puck direct players.
Okay.
Aho is a pass-first player. Ehlers is a playmaking pass-first player. So for him, he just needs to send the puck to the net where he know that Stankoven is going to be. And also, you
love it.
Stankoven and Blake are great at winning board battles and stuff as well. Like, it's those guys are direct, and they're just obviously all 6 of those top guys are all fast. So the speed thing is there. But to me, Ehlers can be the playmaker.
Sometimes I do these little choose your own adventure segments, and I get nervous because, like, if you answer, it's
Goosebumps books here.
Yeah, a little bit. But or when you go up to somebody and say, like, goodness gracious, did you see how much they traded for Quinnen Williams? And you want them to say, like, what, a third? So you go, no, a first and a second. But their first answer is like 4 firsts, and you're like, well, you really just kind of ruined my setup here because you went way over the top. Like, sometimes I could ask these questions and you go in a different direction. It's like, well, that's going to ruin my point. But you did it perfectly. When they traded for Nikolai Ehlers, or when they signed Nikolai Ehlers, this offseason, when they acquired Nikolai Ehlers, my very first thought was, I think there's some skill set overlap with some of their best guys, right? I think there's a whole bunch of, like, 30-goal scorers, but also guys that want to make their way with the pass. They want to feed the more goal-hungry people. And if you put them all on the same line, it's going to be pretty at times, right? And I thought it would work better than it has so far through 11 games or whatever it's been. But I think they're mixing it up to simply say, you guys are all really good creators. We need to get you to where you can be the center. And I'm not talking about the like centerman. I'm talking about where you can be the gravitational force that everybody else revolves around. Ehlers, like Logan Stankoven, he might be the most comfortable 5'7" guy net front presence that I've seen in quite some time. And if he wants to go get deflections and finish rebounds and everything, Ehlers can facilitate that for him, right? And Blake, we know Blake, he's got a little bag of tricks, right? He's got, like the basketball form, he's got a lot of different finishes, right? Not talking finish like Aho, talking finish, like he can do some different things around the net there. So I do think Aho and Jarvis, for as great as they are, there is a little bit of difference with Stankoven and Blake. Not better, not worse, different that Ehlers can play off of in a different way. And the same is true reverse. Like if you put all the way at the top Svech and Hall with Aho, when Svech is playing his best, he is a bull in a china shop, right? When he is playing his best, he is a goal scorer. Aho wants to facilitate that. And Taylor Hall, I think he is one of the he and Jarvis maybe are the two, like you could put them anywhere, and I think it would work. So throwing him up there just fits. You know what Jarvis looks like with Stahl and Martinook. We've seen it a bunch of times over the years, right? He is the sizzle on that line, and the other two are what they are, right? They are more than capable enough to get Jarvis going and get him the looks he needs, and Jarvis can go kind of be the change up on that line. I look forward to seeing what these lineup changes do, with the added caveat. I'm going to quote. This is one of my dad's sayings, right? Every dad has some good sayings. I need to get more sayings when my kids get older. When we used to get haircuts growing up, like my grandma cut my hair, I would buzz my haircut all the time. My dad used to always say, you know what the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is? I'd go, what? He'd go, about 5 days. About 5 days. It's grown out enough that you can't tell. All right, difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut, about 5 days. I'm seeing a lot of complaining about the line switches today on social media from Canes fans, right? Somebody sent me the heights and weights of the second line for the Rangers and the second line for the Canes, and it's all, 6'3", 215 against 5'10", 170, whatever they are.
Cool, and the Rangers stink.
And well, it's okay. You can be upset. You know what the difference is between a good line change and a horrific line change? 1 period. If it's awful, change it back. Like if they're just getting smoked by the end of the first period, Rod will go, that didn't work, and try something else. This is not, you don't lock it in. It's not like, IR in the NFL where it's like once you make this switch, it's 4 games. You can't play. It's not, hey, you put Ehlers next to Stankoven and Blake. It's 4 weeks. You can't change it. It's not that. If they roll it out and it doesn't work and it's like, ooh, thought that would work better. Difference is 1 shift. That's seriously how long it could take. 1 shift. So it costs you nothing to try, and it might pay off gangbusters, right? Maybe Ehlers, Aho, and Jarvis all score in the first period. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. And or maybe they just look good or they look fresh or whatever. Maybe everybody just needed a different feel. Like there's a million different positives. Are there some bad possible outcomes? Yes. But then you just go back. It's not like those other combos are done forever and can never be returned to.
Also, keep this in mind. Injuries are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know this. Rod needs to know that, hey, at some point later in the season, I might need to go to this. Can it work?
Yeah. Or
work?
even, is it not a disaster?
Yeah.
like I need to know that if, like what happened a couple games ago with the blue line, right? If we get down to 4 defensemen and one of them's in the box, there's no, like, I don't work well with him. There's got to be, I can at least make it somewhat a semblance of productive. There could be a game where something crazy like that happens with the forwards. I want to see what it looks like. I'll make my judgments after that, but I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
First 2 months are all about gathering information. I'm going to stick to that like flies on poo. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep returning to it.
What, flies on poo?
No, the first 2 months are all about gathering information.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to keep saying it over. I'm going to keep returning to it over and over and over.
Like flies on poo.
Like flies on poo. They keep coming back. You can shoo them away. They're going to keep coming back. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And every 5 o'clock, we're going to keep coming back to the starting five. That's next. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, just say it once. Just say it. Just say it one time. I promise it'll be cathartic for you. The Carolina Panthers will be playing meaningful football in November. One more time for the back. The Carolina Panthers will be playing meaningful football in November.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, we've served veterans and their families for over 90 years, and we continue to serve over 2 million veterans because their contributions inspire our service. And this Veterans Day, we want to tell you that when you're a member, you'll have access to exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools. Plus, we're partnering with Travis Manion Foundation's Veterans Day of Service campaign, connecting veterans and families of the fallen with local volunteer opportunities. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, chili lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to KeepMyNetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Mega Millions jackpot is over $800 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10 by 10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Mega Millions jackpot is over $800 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 291 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Make sure to grab an extra layer if you're heading out tonight. Temperatures will be cooling off down to 39 by Wednesday morning. It ends up being a warm and windy Wednesday, though. Plenty of sunshine with highs climbing up to 73 by the afternoon.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon down 251 points to 47,085.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 5 o'clock, so it is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
NFL trade deadline came and went at 4 o'clock today, but it did not come and go with a whimper. There was some loud clashing going on. Cowboys made a big move to trade for Quinnen Williams from the Jets. Colts made a big move to trade for Sauce Gardner from the Jets. Seahawks made a medium-sized move to go get Rashid Shaheed from the Saints, who the Panthers will now not have to face this week, which is good for the deep secondary of the Panthers.
They'll have to face them week 17 when they play the Seahawks, though.
Which Seahawks, they're pretty good. But they already had some receivers you had to worry about, so if it's not Cooper Kupp there, it's Rashid Shaheed, you're probably doing all right. The Panthers did nothing at the trade deadline. I kind of like it. As soon as it happened, right at 4:02 or whatever it was, I said I wanted to be the first to say, solid job, Panthers. I think I would actually be bad at this, right? A little self-awareness here. If I were the GM of an NFL team, I think I would be tempted to just do stuff. Be like, trade deadline's here. What are we doing? What are we doing to get better? What offer are we making? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? When I do think for the Panthers especially right now, nothing was the right move. Right? I think you've set yourself up. Do you know what's the irony? And I know that there are some Bryce Young fans that are getting after us in the YouTube comments based on a conversation we had earlier. Do you know what's kind of the benefit of building your team around Bryce Young? You've, whether intentionally or not, right? Whether you were just trying to make Bryce Young work or you were actually kind of working with alternate motivations, you've built a team that is a really nice landing spot for a quarterback. Right? If you were to put Bryce Young as a rookie onto the Panthers next year, it might be the type of incubator that would build him into a much better quarterback than he's been through 3 years of his career. And I'm not saying you go get a rookie, but I am saying I don't think there's a lot of things to do for the Panthers. You have an offensive line you like. You have a defensive core that you like and improving. You have a wide receiver who looks like a number one. There's a lot of pieces in place. It's kind of just about, you got to wait a little bit, right? You need another offseason, some more free agency money to go spend. You need another draft to go supplement the talent. You just got to wait and keep making steps in the right direction. But I do think the foundation is there in a pretty solid way for the Panthers. Dennis, anything you'd like to add? Anything you wanted to see them do, a to-do list that didn't get done?
The only thing I could have seen, maybe just because of the injuries, is maybe if you wanted to do a trade for someone that would be depth at outside linebacker, but be one of those situations where, hey, we'll trade you a 6th-round pick if you give us that player and a 7th in return, so that way you're not losing a late-round pick, and another team's like, okay, we can move up slightly in the draft, but also maybe trying to find a player that has at least maybe another year left on his contract, so you kind of get a little bit more extended value from it, or maybe even at off-ball linebacker. I would like to have seen that as well, but again, it's a really, really thin market. And a lot of teams out there have that more as a need than teams that are willing to part with those players. So it's just, the value just probably wasn't there for them.
And you have to ask what the benefit is, right?
Yeah.
Getting them 9 games earlier or 8 games earlier, right? There's only 8 games left to play. You might be able to acquire those positions in the offseason. Do you want to pay the premium to get a half season out of them this year and maybe, who knows, be a little bit better? Or try to be a lot a bit better next year. It's a tough one. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Finds Williams again straight away. A couple of pounds left and defers to McNeil. Jabs right, wraps it back to Williams. Backdoor feed, catch. Lubin jams it down. Threads the needle, does Williams. 15-5 Pack lead.
I do want to build off of something we said. We're going to talk NC State 114, NC Central 66 men's basketball opener yesterday. But a former NC State athlete that I hinted there were some rumors, Jacoby Brissett named the starter, according to Ian Rappaport, for the Arizona Cardinals.
For this coming week?
The exact wording from Ian Rappaport sources, the Cardinals are naming Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback.
Oh.
That to me is, even if Kyler's healthy, Jacoby Brissett is their starting quarterback. Man, how about that?
Okay.
Let that be a lesson for quarterbacks everywhere. Make the best skill position players happy. You keep your job.
Yeah.
Feed Trey McBride, feed Marvin Harrison Jr., and everyone's like, you know what? That guy should stay around. That guy should – why are we not having him be the starter? Very interesting decision there. But his old team, the NC State Wolfpack on the basketball court, had themselves a night last night. Won 114-66. Throwback jerseys, brought back a vibe from yesteryear of NC State basketball, which I believe was all intentional from Will Wade, who's trying to, set up the Red Reckoning, as he calls it.
Wade did talk after the game that he's had players from different eras come and talk to the team once a week over the last 4 weeks or so to say, hey, guys, there's, as he described it, there's a well that we drink from, but there are people who dug it well. We got to acknowledge those people.
And when you say different eras, I mean all of them, right?
Yes.
Going back to the teams that you really loved back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Derek Whittenberg's, yeah.
Yep. All the way up to the Casey Morcells, the ones that played as recently as a couple years ago when they made it to the Final Four. I like a hands-on nature of a head coach. I don't think there's anything going on in NC State right now that's not crossing through Will Wade's desk, and he's not tweaking to what he wants. Like, there is an image, there is a everything that he is interested in maintaining for NC State, and I think it's cool. I think the best coaches are control freaks in the best way. They're not like micromanagers, or they're not talking down. There's a certain cohesiveness to everything that's going on, and they bring in people that understand that. From a basketball standpoint, watching last night's game, State Central, Darian Williams, as much as you can be against an overmatched NC Central team, as expected, very good, and I established it early. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, because you were there. It felt like Darian Williams scored, did a lot early, and then went all right, now my youngins can take care of you. And kind of, I don't want to say took a back seat, but took more of an advisory role when he was on the court after very early on letting everybody know, I could do this. I could put up 35. I'm going to get my 19 and let my youngins handle it.
I think Kadir Copeland said after the game that Williams hitting some of those shots early, I think it was Copeland that said it, but he basically that settled everyone down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just oh, okay, he hits a couple early. All right, we're feeling good. Just kind of controls the floor. Now, yeah, like you said, all right, everyone, you all can breathe. Y'all can go do your thing. And if he wanted to score 30 last night, I have no doubt that he could have.
And that's his, that's why you pay the pretty penny of NIL that I'm sure he received to get him on campus. His impact, right? It's very similar to NBA, NFL, NHL, whatever. If you're paying a guy top money, or if you are using a good percentage of whatever your funds are on a player, you're probably not getting that back in just their performance, right? You get that value in their performance plus how they elevate everyone around them. And you got the feeling that Williams is ready to do that for State. And then also Will Wade got a technical while they were up 101-46 with 6 minutes left, which is hilarious. It is noteworthy. Do you have the audio? And this is why Will Wade did so, according to Will Wade.
We got to be who we are the whole time. You can't. If you relax, you got to understand, in these type games, it's tough too. Look, we talk about, we're all sitting in here because we had 27 assists on 37 made baskets. You got to understand, you're in that type game, and you have a guy who drives it in there and throws up some BS shot, and he's got two people open from three. That can screw your team up after the game. So, you have to play to the standard. You have to make sure everybody keeps doing what they're supposed to do. And, the technical, as much as anything, was look, I'm still fighting. I'm still here. I'm still paying attention to everything. That's how we have to be, because you can get way too loose in that, and it can create problems within your team when you're loose in those situations. And so we wanted to make sure we kept playing the right way. We played to our standards for 40 minutes. I thought we did it for about 36. We've got some work to do there.
I mean, you're telling me your group of 18, 19 to 23, 24-year-olds let their foot off the gas when they were up 50? You got to work on that. That's a first-class problem right there for old Will Wade. And the technical is hilarious. I refuse to think of it any other way. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Evans goes right around his defender. How about just re-rack it, baby? Another alley-oop to Wilson for the flush.
UNC beat Central Arkansas last night, men's basketball, 94-54. I'm dubbing this season, and I decided on this earlier in the show. If it were a 50s or a 40s doo-wop group, it is Seth Trimble and the Newbies. You look around the UNC locker room. Seth Trimble has been around a long time. Don't get me wrong, but it's always been like if a locker room is possessed by a player, like it is under their ownership. It's been Baycott, it's been RJ Davis, and it's been that way for a long time. Seth Trimble's still around, but other than that, there's a lot of new energy in that UNC locker room. Kyan Evans, 4 of 7 from 3. That's what he was brought in to do. Luka Bogovac ends up playing. We weren't sure if he was going to be deemed eligible or given eligible might not be the right word. Cleared by UNC.
Given the okay?
Yeah, given the sure, go ahead. I don't even know if it was like a yes, he is eligible. It might have been a fine, play. Stop asking. He played well. 20 minutes off the bench, 10 points. He didn't get to play in any of the exhibitions because UNC didn't deem him cleared. The NCAA had already, but UNC took till the 11th hour to figure it out. He's going to play a big role. Henry Vesar, the big guy, 7-footer, 14 and 10, also had a steal and a block. That's going to be part of his role. But really, if there is a headliner, Caleb Wilson, I'm telling you. Do you know, actually, I didn't even strike me until just now. The moment last year when I got really excited about Duke's group, remember I picked them to win the national championship before the season? I watched some highlights of Cooper Flagg, and one of the things I was super impressed with was the guy dunks everything. If he was within 2 steps of the bucket, he was dunking it. And he was getting fouled or he was putting somebody on a poster, and it was obvious. Now, they're not the same players, and I don't expect Caleb Wilson to be the number 1 overall pick or anything like that. I do expect him to be a lottery pick. He dunks everything. And his athleticism is special to the point where his teammates already know there is an airspace that only he occupies. They're throwing oops. They're throwing lobs. Regardless of who's around him, knowing there's like a foot of airspace above where the defenders can go, that he still can. And if you put the ball up there, he'll catch it and dunk it. 3 of the first 4 buckets for UNC were dunks by Caleb Wilson. I imagine he's going to average like 8 points a game on dunks. Probably close to 20 per game overall. He's that kind of player. And that opens up everything else. We saw, again, I know UNC and Duke don't want me to compare them, but we saw it last year at times with Kaman Malawash, where you almost had to lay off of Con Knipple when he was driving, because if you took a step towards him, he was just putting an alley-oop somewhere up near the bucket, and Malawash was going to dunk it. If you give Trimble, if you give Kyan Evans, if you give them that same idea, Jaren Stevenson even, there's going to be a 6'10 to 6'11 alley-oop this year. And it's going to be ridiculous. If you give them that same knowledge that if they're driving to the bucket, if any help defense comes, just throw it up near the top of the square and it'll be a dunk, that's good offense. It's efficient. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2. Tugler in on Knipple, spins, goes up, got it blocked! Guess who? Cooper Flagg threw it out of bounds!
That's a highlight from last year's Duke team. This year's Duke team gets it started. They didn't play last night. I think there were 15 ACC teams in play. The other 3 get started tonight. Duke versus Texas. It's an 8:45 game in Charlotte. This is a big game, right? Texas. I read an article on The Athletic today about the commitment from Texas. Texas puts their money where their mouth is. They are as well-funded as any basketball program in the country, and that includes Duke. Sean Miller's debut for Texas. brings in a Xavier transfer, brings in a couple big transfers, also got a few guys from Texas to stick around, which is big when you take over. There's a lot of new here, okay? Duke is going to depend on freshmen in key roles. Texas, new coach, new unit. There's a lot of new there to depend on. So whatever happens in this game, I wouldn't hold it against either team, right? If Duke smokes Texas, I'm not writing off Texas. And if Texas is able to upset Duke as an unranked team, I'm not going to write off Duke. I would be surprised, but I'm not going to write them off. John Shire uses the non-conference schedule. They do not mess around. This isn't even one of their 7 best non-conference games, and they're playing Texas. They attack the non-conference schedule, but here's what I want to see. Last year they played a very difficult non-conference schedule, and early on, I want to say 3 of their first 6 games were against top 10 teams. I forget exactly what it was, but they had a lot of clutch moments down the stretch of games. Right, I remember against Kansas, maybe against Kentucky. Cooper Flagg slipped and turned it over in both of them. And Con Knipple had a turnover late in one of those games. And I remember going, all right, John Shire learned, right? These guys, they need better execution in the final moments. They need to calm down, right? Whatever it is, coaching's got to fix it. And guess what happened in the Final Four? Clutch moments, there was some panic. There were some bad inbounds. There were some games that didn't go their way, or a game specifically, where they collapsed down the stretch in the Final Four. You're going to get another shot at it, right? This team is going to be very good. They're going to be very talented. What you learn in games like today are the flies in the ointment, right? Are the whatever is the crack in your armor. You got to fix by the end of the year, right? It's very frustrating when the thing that kept you from winning big non-conference games might end up being the same thing that keeps you from winning big postseason games. So whatever we learn tonight, whatever you learn against Kansas, whatever you learn against, these big non-conference games that you're playing, got to take the season to get them right. The other thing is, it is a test of professionalism and maturity for the young guys. You brought up how Matt Abel, 5-star freshman for NC State, seemed very, comfortable and professional and mature.
Yeah.
I would argue Caleb Wilson gave off a lot of the same vibes for UNC. Freshman, professional, mature. Duke's being thrown into a game against Texas to start things off. Cam Boozer, Nick Hemania, some of these freshmen that are going to be in huge roles. Caden Boozer. It's going to be a test of that same thing there, right? They don't have time to get your freshman jitters out. So we'll see how it goes tonight in Charlotte. That's number 2. How about number 1?
The one! Extra attacker out for Carolina. Nikisha tees it up, and he scores! A Russian rocket!
The Canes take on the Rangers tonight. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. 7 o'clock puck drop, 6:30 Stormwatch.
Radio-only broadcast.
Radio-only broadcast. But you can check it out on the app, 99.9 The Fan.
Yes.
So you can, wherever your phone has connection, you can listen to 99.9 The Fan for Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy on the 99.9 The Fan app. Dennis, I'll put it on you. I'll also come up with an answer, but
Okay.
I like springing it on you. I need an if-then statement. If blank happens, then the Canes get a W in MSG against Keandre Miller's old squad. He's not playing, but he is in the building as they take on the Rangers.
So if this happens, obviously
if blank happens, the Canes win the game. You have to fill in the blank.
Not if they score more goals. Full Booger McFarland analysis on this one.
Well, here's what I think. If they go in and put the puck in the net more than the opposing team, I think they have a pretty good chance to win.
Thank you, Booger. Let's go with if Andrei Svechnikov stays out of the box. If Andrei Svechnikov stays out of the box and has a point tonight, they win. Has a point and stays out of the box.
All right. Okay. I like that. I'm going to be very it's borderline Booger. I just made fun of Booger. I'm borderline right there. I think if they score at least 3 goals, they win. I don't think they win 2-1. I don't think they win 5-4. I think I guess they would win 5-4. I think I think their blue line is going to be good enough to keep the Rangers to 2 or 3 goals. If the Canes get at least 3, I think they win. Might be close. But I think it's a low-scoring game overall. I think it's a race to 3 goals almost is kind of the way I look at it. So that's the way I'm going. That's not straight booger, right? It's not whoever scores the most. You got to score. If you get to 3, I think you win the game. If the Canes scored 3, then they win the game. Anything less, I don't see it happening. But the part of the story is, and actually maybe it should be higher than that, because Pyotr Kochekhov's in net for the first time this year. Do you expect big things, speed wobbles? What do you expect from Pyotr?
I think he's going to be pretty amped up. First NHL game of the season for him, but I don't think the moment's going to be too big. It was nice the fact that he got that first game, like regular season action, out of the way with that conditioning game down in Chicago with the American Hockey League. I think Pyotr's going to be fine tonight. And as you mentioned, and as Adam Gold told you before the show, Pyotr plays well against the New York Rangers. He's 4-2 in his career with a .928 save percentage and a .218 goals against average.
Which, by the way, all of those were against Shesterkin.
Yes.
So there's something there, right? Like Pyotr Kochetkov, Igor Shesterkin. There's some I want to show out for a guy that he probably looks up to.
And exactly, which actually led to my second point. He plays well against other Russian goaltenders. Again, it's like a national thing. I don't know. It's just what it is.
And just Adam did send over some stats. I'll add this one. Many of them similar to yours. But of those games that he played against the Rangers, 4 of them have happened in Madison Square Garden. He is 3-1 in MSG with a .922 save percentage. So he's been. There's a lot of things that in his past have led to good performances for him, but there's also. I don't think it's ridiculous to say somebody that hasn't played at all in the NHL this year due to injury. If there was a soft one early, I don't think that would be like, oh my goodness, oh no, how did that happen? It's like, well, he's got to get back to NHL speed as well. But I've been a big fan of Pyotr Kochetkov. Really, I hope many of you remember. I've been an early. If there's like a stock exchange, I bought stock in Pyotr Kochetkov early. I still think there's the potential in there for him to be special. You just gotta. You got to put it all together, and you got to harness the awesome, the poke check, the crazy energy, while maybe removing a few of the why did you throw your stick like 4 feet in the air and dive all the way to the face-off circle. Like you need to. There's a middle ground there somewhere, but I think he has some special traits. So I want to see him do well. I want to see him do well and make that 3 goalie system for the Canes just a very, very impressive one. I do want to update real quickly here, and I do want to tell you about Miller Lending as well. But Adam Schefter has updated the Cardinals quarterback situation.
Okay.
According to his sources, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have consulted with multiple doctors on his foot injury and have been told the timetables for recovery are anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, with an increased chance of setback until it's properly healed. Murray now has, more time to rest. So that's funny. Ian Rappaport earlier in the starting 5 we updated you. Ian Rappaport said they are naming Jacoby Brissett the starter. And then Adam Schefter's like, Kyler Murray, injury, won't be able to play for a very long time. And it's just 2 different ways to look at the same bit of news, which is the Cardinals are going to be rolling with Jacoby Brissett for a long time. How do you want to frame it? Who'd you hear it from? Jacoby's agent or Kyler's agent? Right? That's probably what it comes down to. They've named Jacoby the starter. Well, Kyler's hurt and he's not going to be able to play, so they're going to be forced to play Jacoby. Who'd you hear it from? Kyler's agent or Jacoby's agent? It's probably the difference in tone there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab numbers game contestants, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. If your rate starts with a 7, if your mortgage rate starts with a 7 right now, you need to call Miller Lending, right? Rates have come down since then, and you don't have to come up with the cash for costs and fees, right? If you got a mortgage, nearly a year ago, a little less, and it's super high, and you're going, we can't afford to refi because we don't have the money again for closing costs, I've got an answer for you. The no closing cost loan. No cost, no fees, no money out of your pocket, just the lower rate, which means the lower monthly payment. That's what Miller Lending can do for you. There are those around the office that have used it multiple times, and they've come away happy every single time. Because who wouldn't when you just get a lower monthly payment with no money out of your pocket? That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? If that's what you're interested in, or if you're just looking for a mortgage and you want the flexibility to be able to get a mortgage without any closing costs or fees, give them a call. Miller Lending, 919-447-3377. As I like to point out, locally owned, right here in the Triangle in Cary. When you call, you're talking to someone in the 919. The phone number, 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equalizing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Now let's grab those numbers game contestants. What do we have for today? We have, as a prize, a pair of tickets to see the Dropkick Murphys at the Ritz on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. I'm giving you plans. How nice is that? You don't have to make plans. I'm giving you plans for Valentine's Day. A pair of tickets to see the Dropkick Murphys at the Ritz. All you have to do is win the numbers game. So call in, 919-860-5326. We need 2 of you to call in, 919-860-5326 to play the numbers game and maybe win some tickets to see Dropkick Murphys. Numbers game coming up next.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and the Rangers.
Blake with it, he scores! Oh, what hands! Jackson Blake, he's a magician, and it's 1-0 Carolina.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Snaps the shot, he scores! Sebastian Aho! And it's 2-0 Carolina.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Today we have Dropkick Murphys tickets available for... Oh, there we go. Available for the winner. And as always, we will bring each of the contestants on air. We will ask them the same question, and Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. And as we were speaking there, one of our callers fell off the line, but Dennis is already back on the line, so somebody was quick on the draw to jump in. We do have Tony in Chapel Hill waiting. We'll wait to see who our next contestant is. Do appreciate you, Tony in Chapel Hill, for waiting. And he'll be joined by David in Raleigh. So Tony in Chapel Hill and David in Raleigh will be the contestants. Hold on, I'm messing everything up around here. All right, I think we're good to go. We'll roll with this. To be quite frank, we're going on like 3 years of this. It's difficult to keep coming up with these questions to ask. But I'm going to try to do one that's a little topical here for you. David in Raleigh, are you there and can you hear me?
I am here. I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So yesterday, Caleb Wilson scored 22 points for UNC, just the 5th freshmen in UNC history in their debut to score 20+. So I ask you this. All sports, all across college, can you think of the best freshman in college sports history? Somebody that just took the entire sport by whirlwind their first year on campus?
Oh, man. I do not know an answer to that question.
Okay. All right. Hot start. That's not not my best question.
Hey, you're throwing a tough one out there.
All right, fine. We'll mix it up. We'll go with a different one.
Yeah.
We'll go with a different one. Let's think. I'm blanking here. Do you got one, Dennis?
All right, simple one here.
I like.
All
simple.
right, simple. Holiday season, it's approaching. Favorite holiday and why?
There you go, David. Favorite holiday and why?
Just Thanksgiving, all the family.
All right.
That's
beautiful.
plain and simple.
Dennis might have to pick against Thanksgiving and all the family. Tony in Chapel Hill, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
All right. Holiday season's coming up. Give us your favorite holiday and tell us why.
Hey, man, I want to stick with that first question. Being from Chapel Hill, man, you got to go with Tyler Hansbrough. Best freshman start.
All right. He did have 20-plus points in his debut. He was one of the 5. All right, Dennis, you get to choose between Thanksgiving and all the family or Tyler Hansborough's freshman year. I don't know your criteria, but that's what you got to pick.
Well, I mean, we changed the question.
But he gave the answer. I'm allowing it. I'm allowing it.
You know what? That's fine. Tyler Hansborough, great freshman year. I was thinking Zion Williamson was the first thing that popped in my head.
I had a good one. I mean, I remember Adrian Peterson for some
Adrian
reason
Peterson
taking over.
absolutely took the world by storm. Maurice Claret, his freshman year at Ohio State.
If you count redshirt freshman, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman.
He did. He did. Give me Thanksgiving and family.
All right. That's a tough opponent for Tyler Hansborough going up against Thanksgiving and family. Either way, Tony, you will have your chance. Just have to stay on hold for a second. David and Raleigh will lead us off. David, are you ready to pick a category?
I'm ready.
All right. The categories are NFL players with early November birthdays, NFL players that at one point or another were Calais Campbell's teammates, NBA players from Europe, so all European players, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Hurricanes.
All right. I'll give you the team and the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Even though we know the team in this category, I will continue to say it to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I do not.
All right, perfect. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
26.
Incorrect. Joel Nystrom, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
35.
Incorrect. Joel Nystrom, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Joel Nystrom, Carolina Hurricanes.
2.
Incorrect. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know why, but 2 struck me as funny. All these guesses, 27, 35, 28, 2. It caught me off guard. That is a 0. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, we were looking for 82. Nystrom, 64. Unfortunately, that is a offer. However, by the nature of Thanksgiving beating Tyler Hansborough, you went first, and tie does go to whoever goes first. So if we have a double offer, you'll be the winner. Stay on the line, and we'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Tony in Chapel Hill. Tony, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with early November birthdays, NFL players that at one point or another were teammates with Calais Campbell, or NBA All-European players. Which one would you like?
Let's do the NFL birthdays.
Okay. All players with early November birthdays. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need at least one for the win. Any questions before we jump in?
Now let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tucker Kraft, Green Bay Packers.
85.
Correct. Brandon LaFell, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, God. 21.
Incorrect. De'Ami Brown, Jacksonville Jaguars.
15.
Incorrect. Brandon LaFell, Carolina Panthers.
20. 22.
Incorrect. Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons.
84.
Well, it was after the buzzer, but that was the correct, just for your own bragging rights. Luckily, you didn't need that one. You only needed one, and you got Tucker Kraft. So by a score of 1-0, you are the winner. You're seeing the drop kick Murphys on February 14th.
All right.
Stay on the line. Dennis will grab the info he needs to hear or needs to grab to make sure you get your prize. And while you do that, I'll update everybody playing at home with the correct answers. Tucker Kraft, as you heard, 85. The ACL's confirmed. He's done for the year. That's a bummer. He was having a great season. Brandon LaFell with the Panthers wore number 11. Roddy White, it was correct after the buzzer, 84 with the Falcons. And De'Ami Brown with Jacksonville, number 5. They traded for Jacoby Myers, former NC State wide receiver today. I wonder if De'Ami doesn't get a – oh, no. Yeah, De'Ami's still there, right? I'm not making that up. Might get buried a little bit on that depth chart, but who knows? We'll see. Parker Washington was getting a lot of carries or a lot of targets over the weekend. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There are some scores I can update you on, and I should have had this up and running already. Women's basketball going on as we speak, and some big ones. NC State taking on Tennessee. Number 8 Tennessee, number 9 NC State. It is currently the end of the third in women's basketball. End of the third in the Greensboro Invitational. NC State has the lead, 63-62 in a top 10 matchup. This is a big game on the women's side of things. Tennessee, number 8 in the country. NC State, number 9. If you're looking for points, Tilda Trieger, who is listed as one of the best post players in the country, has 19 points through 3. Camille Pierre, again, one of the best post players in the country, both for NC State, has 17 points and 9 rebounds through 3 quarters of play. So both on pace for a pretty good statistical game. Zoe Brooks, one of the point guards, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists through 3 quarters. So they're doing their thing. Obviously, Tennessee, a worthy opponent, 63-62 through 3 quarters. NC State has the lead, but it's still a lot of basketball left to be played the entire fourth quarter, right? Obviously, the women's game playing quarters, men's still playing halves. But there you go. NC State women have the lead. We'll try to keep you updated throughout on that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, college football playoffs. The CFP rankings for the first time this season come out tonight. And while they're not the final CFP rankings, which are the most important, I would argue tonight's CFP rankings are the second most important edition of them all year. Very important that the ACC gets a little bit of respect. We'll talk about how, why, and what that means coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but maybe Bill Belichick was right. Maybe they are getting better, at least on the defensive side of the ball. I've seen improvement there in the last couple of weeks. The truth is, their offense isn't getting any better. Gio Lopez probably isn't a guy that's going to win you any ACC games, but defensively, they do look improved. So maybe we got to hand it to the head coach about that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Wake in a hurry. Fake handoff right and scampering left by himself, untouched into the end zone, the quarterback.
Wake Forest football returns to a legacy stadium on Saturday, November 15th to battle it out with Big Four rival North Carolina. Limited tickets remain. Order yours today at godeeks.com/tickets. We'll see you at a Legacy Stadium on Saturday, November 15th, as the Demon Deacons take on the Tar Heels. Go Deeks.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. So there's a lot going on today. The NFL trade deadline was at 4, and there were some fireworks there. The Jets selling everything. Even the stuff they didn't sell, it felt like they were trying to. Breece Hall. There's also college basketball tonight, Duke, Texas. There's women's basketball going on right now as they're into the fourth quarter between number 8 Tennessee and number 9 NC State, with State still clinging to that 1-point lead, 65-64. At 7 o'clock, I believe 7. There's Canes tonight. Can't forget that. Canes at Rangers. You can hear it right here, 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app. Shuffling up some lines, doing some interesting things there. And then also at, I believe, 7 o'clock, they're putting out the first college football playoff rankings of the year. And, I mean, I'm not foolish enough to say these are the most important version of the rankings because, right, the final ones are going to decide who gets in and who doesn't. But I think today is the second most important CFP rankings because it establishes all of the games moving forward. Right? If you are picked, like as we expect Ohio State and Indiana and Texas A&M as these undefeated behemoths, if they're in the top 3, think about what that does for you margin of error-wise. You can lose a game and not fall out of the CFP projections, not fall out of the top 12. Meanwhile, if say Virginia, an ACC team, sitting there at 8-1 with their only loss to NC State, right now they're 12th in the AP poll. If they come in at 11 or 12 and you lose one, that might be all she wrote, right? That might be all she wrote. Or Alabama, who also has a loss to Florida State, which is probably a worse loss than losing to NC State at this point. But Alabama is going to be, likely top 5. Their margin for error is greater than Virginia's. Not to mention the opportunity for big wins, right? One of the reasons why we talked about it a bunch yesterday. The race to the ACC championship is fascinating because right now there are five teams with 1 loss in the ACC. And Virginia is technically undefeated in the ACC because their loss to NC State came in a non-conference game. It's such an interesting race to the ACC championship because there are so many opportunities for big games, right? There are so many 1-loss ACC teams that are going to play each other, and they're going to get to settle it on the field. If your conference, right, because for the most part, except for rivalry week, you're into pretty much just conference games. If your conference doesn't have enough big teams in the CFP rankings, there's not much opportunity for your teams to advance, right? If you're sitting, like, let's say, I'm just picking ACC teams here, but let's say Miami comes in at 20. Miami would need a big win or a bunch of help from teams losing above them in order to advance up. Right? They need to have, I call them trophy fish, right? You need to go get a win that is worth stuffing and taxidermying and put on your wall. And you're not going to get that if your conference doesn't have respect in the first CFP rankings. So Louisville, who's right now 14th in the AP poll, it'd be really, really nice. Maybe a little unrealistic to hope for, but I'm going to do it anyway, if they settle into that top 12. Virginia at 12. It'd be really, really nice if they settle into 10. Right? That Georgia Tech at 16 with the AP poll. If they can get up knocking on the door of the top 12 in the CFP rankings, and I know all of these won't happen, but if a couple of them can, even if those teams don't end up making the CFP, it just raises the entire reputation and makes every game that they play in an opportunity for someone to take a big step forward. Because even if it's something like NC State, right? Looking at NC State right now, they're not going to make the CFP, right? They're not. They've got 3 losses in the ACC already. But you know what they do have? They have wins over Virginia and Georgia Tech, which means if Virginia and Georgia Tech are both, top 14, top 12 teams in the CFP, those are 2 legit wins. So now, right, this is I can't imagine how mundane and boring it must be in these CFP meetings. So now if somebody beats State later on, say Miami or say whoever, right? If they beat NC State, it's like, well, actually that's a pretty good win because State does have those 2 wins over teams that we think are, top 12 teams in the country or whatever it is. It's just the transitive property is endless in college football. It's why every year, as long as the national champion has at least 1 loss, there's some group of 5 team that plays the transitive property game. It's like, Ohio State lost to Michigan. Michigan lost to Indiana. Indiana lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt lost to, you find some group of 5 team, Coastal. Coastal lost to this team. This team lost to that team. And that team lost to Delaware. Ipso facto, Delaware's the national champion, right? There's always that thing. The transitive property goes on forever in college football. So you need to make sure there's as many big wins in your conference as possible. The teams in the AP poll from the ACC right now, and I just kind of referenced them all at different times, but I'll put them in order. Number 12, Virginia, sitting at 8-1. Number 14, Louisville, sitting at 7-1. Georgia Tech is 16 at 8-1, and Miami right now is 18th at 6-2. And then there's some also receiving votes. Pittsburgh is also receiving votes. They would be in 28th if you're counting that way. And that's about it. That's what we're looking at in the AP poll as it sits right now for the ACC.
You think only one's in the top 12 when it's all said and done at the end of the day today? When they look, we're only see 1 ACC in the top 12.
I don't think we have any, if we're being honest.
Really?
I mean, do you see them giving the benefit of the doubt to Virginia?
Potentially, maybe that might be at 12. Maybe.
I mean, that's if they don't go. By the way, there's usually some good changes, some good, I don't mean good, but a good amount of difference between the AP poll and the CFP poll. I don't think there's going to be an ACC team there. I don't want to put on a full conspiracy helmet here. I want to put the tinfoil hat on and go real crazy about they're out to get me and go lock the door and come up with conspiracy theories. But the ACC hasn't traditionally been hyped up by the CFP poll. And this year, there are some legit reasons why each team would not be propped up. They've found reasons when there haven't been legit reasons to not prop up ACC teams. So I'm leery, but I'm hopeful, right? I'm hoping for the best, but I might be expecting the worst here. I'm not sure if there's going to be a team in the top 14. And then you need those wins you need 2 teams to run the table from here on out. And you need a Georgia Tech to look good against Georgia, and then have an electric ACC championship to get 2 teams in. I'm still hopeful for 3, but I'm preparing for the CFP rankings to come out and have us go, really? That's how little you think of us? I think that's what we should prepare for. Because if you look at the teams, let's just play this game. A 2-loss Oklahoma or a 1-loss Virginia. Those are the decisions they're making. Throughout my life, I have not seen a Virginia football team get the benefit of the doubt over an Oklahoma, right? Like, it just doesn't happen. Texas at 7-2, a 2-loss Texas or a 1-loss Louisville.
2-loss Texas.
I have not in my life, regardless of what the resumes say, have seen the Texas Longhorns not get the benefit of the doubt over Louisville. These are all teams that are right next to each other in the AP poll. Like, that's 11-12, Oklahoma over Virginia. 13-14, Texas over Louisville. Those types of arguments just continue to year after year kind of, knock me down. But I keep coming back with more optimism. I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to be pretty darn important what these CFP rankings say tonight. Pretty darn important.
Especially when Texas has multiple wins against ranked teams. Like, they beat Oklahoma, they beat Vanderbilt. They actually went on the...
If you look at, but they won this game, and they look good at this game. And that game, they only didn't win because of an injury. Like, I think you can spin a pretty good argument for 30 teams every year. And then part of it just comes down to who do you like more. And it's inherently biased because humans are making the decision. It's why I've always said I think conference tournaments, conference champions should be crowned more mathematically. If you could work a 2-team conference or a 4-team conference champion bracket where the 2 best teams from 2 divisions play for a conference championship, that one gets to advance. And then you're settling it on the field at every step. It's just better. I don't want to say, well, we had to pick Vanderbilt over Louisville because Vanderbilt had that win and Louisville's win against Miami didn't age well and they had the loss to Virginia. I don't want that. Instead, I want, we took Virginia over Louisville because Virginia played Louisville and won when it mattered, and we took Vanderbilt over Texas because they played and Vanderbilt won. That's what I want the most, but it's a pipe dream. That's never going to happen. Canes tonight. Let's get to something more exciting, more optimistic, rather than me just being doom and gloom about how everybody hates on the ACC.
6:30 Storm Watch.
6:30 Storm Watch. 7 o'clock puck drop. It is in Madison Square Garden. Pyotr Kochetkov will be in net for the Canes, as we expect. That's obviously subject to change up until last second, but we expect it. Some line changes for the forwards. Hopefully will spark some goal scoring, and they'll move on with a win. Any win with the injuries to their blue line is massive, right? I've called it survival season a few times for the Canes. I still think that's the case until you at least get 1 or 2 of the injured blue liners back. Keandre Miller doesn't seem super far away, but he's not out there tonight, which means you're going to have three rookies. Are we still on 3 rookies?
4
rookies, which, by the way, the Canes are now getting used to playing with 4 rookies. But 3 rookie blue liners. They've played 4 rookie defensemen, right? Am I wrong? They've played 4. Tonight they'll have 3.
They'll have 4 rookie defensemen plus Nadeau, so 5.
4 rookie defensemen is, it's bad when you can't keep track. 4 rookie defensemen is the most any team has played this season. The Canes are getting kind of used to it.
I take that. Yeah, never mind. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, 3 rookie defensemen.
A lot of rookies are on the ice.
It's so hard to keep track.
They've played 4 this season. I know that. It's the most in the NHL. Go Canes. First goal scorers can be on my Twitter until then. At Donnelly Sports. Better be timestamped before the game starts if you want your credit. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great time. Enjoy the game.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Man, it started off rough for Dan Campbell. He was able to right the ship. One day, started out 0-10-1. Everybody was going back to the introductory press conference, talking about how awkward it was, being a kneecap biter and all of that stuff. Now everybody loves that stuff. Just give it time to fully bake when it comes to Aaron Glenn. He can't go winless, but I think Aaron Glenn finds a way to keep his job going into 2026.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. A blown left headlight is making Erica's drive to her son's soccer game darker and darker. So she goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone.